So what are we doing?
So have you've done this before?
No.
Okay, I guess that's what we'll do then.
Yeah, but I'm so we're gonna go into here to see if we can get into there, huh?
Oh, you can't even have headphones and earbuds.
People. We came to the courthouse to do some FOIA requests with the clerk of court and to see the brand new elaborate courthouse they just built. And boy, she loves the camera, as you will hear her say it out of her own mouth. I was trying to figure out how to cut this down, but I decided not to. As you can tell how long this thing is, you either watch it in its entirety, or hopefully you timestamp it and watch it in stages. I would appreciate it. I just wanted you to hear the full, uncut conversations that we had with her. All right. Enjoy, or not.
Phones are prohibited.
For real?
All electronic devices should be turned off. General rule.
I don't see no statute.
There is one. Go ahead, man.
Are we live?
Do you get to the new part through here, or you got to go over there? Is it not open? It's not open yet? When does it open?
We don't know. Sometime between the end of December and end of January.
Oh, darn. I was wanting to go see that thing.
Not yet.
Well, darn.
What y'all needing to do? Okay.
The heck? How my thing come all loose? You having a good day so far?
Yes, sir. Face me and lift your arm, please.
My belt. Look.
Turn around for me. Okay.
Have a good one.
We don't allow the bags in. Can't sit it inside.
Darn, I don't remember this little thing last time I was in here. Oh no, I was just telling him last time I was in here, I don't remember this being here.
Oh, you must have known him because this has been here since '92.
Well, I guess my memory fails me then.
Yeah, because before this, my desk was over there.
You've been here that long?
I've been here since 1975.
Wow, doing this same job. You ought to be running this joint by now. I said, you've been here that long, you should be running this whole joint by now.
Not hard. I can't run too much in my mouth either.
Have a blessed day.
Cheers.
All right, where you want to go?
No.
Yeah?
That's the solicitor's office.
Where, all the way up?
Yep. Suite 800.
Three floors. Well, there. Well, sorry, folks.
Is this the first one? No.
Yeah, but where's the clerk? This ain't the clerk, is it? I thought you had to go to the clerk.
back there. I'm gonna do a records request for family court too. Yeah, it says it's in 500.
Clerk of court, payments. Clerk of court, family. So this is where you need to go for that too. Circuit court.
Let's see.
Why they got so many different clerks of court?
They're all clicked out.
Clerk of court, circuit court. That's what you want, or?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
I'm looking. That's the courtroom back there.
Why they got that sign out front then
Which one?
about this?
The new one's gonna be so tough, I said. See, they said it's 20 quarters. Wow. There's 13 in
Hello. I need to do a records request.
Thing. Tell me what's going on that you need.
I just need a FOIA request form.
A FOIA request, so technically it's on our website.
And
It's on the
technically,
Spartanburg County website. And I think there's a way to do it online, but all that goes through our county attorney.
34 days 30. It's coming. You wait, folks. It's coming.
Hey, good job remembering it though.
Okay, so if you see this is our Freedom of Information request process through Spartanburg County. So anything you would need from us would have to go through that process through the FOIA. But is there something that in the, because most of our stuff is public record.
Mm-hmm.
Is there something that you would require that we could possibly get you without going through the FOIA process?
No, ma'am. The records that I'm requesting per 30-4-30, I have to make it in writing.
Okay, but if you tell me what you're looking for, I may be able to help you around that.
Okay. One, I need the operational cost. I'm sorry, the construction cost for the new courthouse.
Okay,
Secondly, I need the rule or policy pertaining to sleds recording inside the solicitor's office.
SLED recording inside the solicitor's office?
So they have a paper up on the wall that says that there's a rule by SLED that says you can't record in there. I want to know what that rule or policy is.
Okay,
What else was it?
Well, I wanted the courthouse. I don't know what all you was wanting.
Okay. I need the salary of the clerk of court. And I need to know how many charges have been dismissed in the last 12 months.
so is that just circuit court or do you want every?
Just circuit court.
Okay. This stuff may take us a while to collect.
Oh, I do.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that as far as the PD goes?
No, so PD be separate.
Public defender?
Have been-
Yeah, public defender, yeah.
That's including that? That's that?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, I didn't hear you say public defender, but
In how many months, what were you asking?
In the last year, 12 months. And lastly, how many charges were dismissed after the defendant? Well, what's the way I need to word this?
I would just like,
Huh?
I'd like to know how many cases they pled out in the past year
Okay.
from the public defender's office.
What I was trying to say is like, so you know how like they'll charge somebody and then they'll wait you out for like a year or two and then they finally
Yeah, I'm
dismiss the
doing it
charge?
right now.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out how to word it.
So we keep a record of how old the cases are.
Okay. So what I want is the record. So like any defendant who their charges were dismissed more than 6 months after they were initially charged.
Okay.
Within the last 2 years.
Okay, so dismissed after 6 months
In a PDF file,
within
so you don't get charged.
last 2 years. Okay, so this is a lot of research.
Mhm.
A lot of this information you can find, however, on sccourts.org.
Mhm.
A lot of so all of the information we go through. You have
sccourts.org and then the record search on the
No,
public
so
index.
so not on there.
Okay.
There's ways to find, reports on
Okay,
how
I mean-
old cases are.
We get all that.
Yes, sir.
But the reason, like we're doing this,
Mm-hmm.
is a lot of times what's on there don't match what's on the paper.
Okay, so this is the official, what I'm gonna show you is our program that we use to enter information. Sorry, it's hard for me to see this. Yeah, where's your CMS? Oh, I see it. Okay, so this is our CMS program, that's a state-run program.
Mhm.
So all of this information dumps into sccourts.org, and that's where they get the data that you see online.
Mhm.
So if we give it to you, that's where we're getting it.
Okay.
Right? So what you're gonna get from us, I'm not sure what numbers don't match, but I'll be glad to try and compare those and see why.
Well, I'm not
it's
saying
different.
this particular county or city.
Records
But
that
we
we've
have
requested previously.
before.
Sometimes it doesn't match.
They can tell you, well, you can do it online. Well, we've already looked online. That's why we come in person to
Yeah.
do it in person.
Okay,
And then the records we get back, for you example, but I'm not saying here,
right,
they would give it to us and it doesn't match. That's why we do that.
okay, the information that we would give you would have to come off of here because we don't keep it any other way. Now, I will say Charleston County has its own record management program that may not match
Uh-huh.
the state.
Okay, well, another reason why we do what we do
Yes, sir?
is by law,
Uh-huh,
we are allowed to do it in person.
that's absolutely
Okay.
true.
So
Absolutely true.
that's what we're doing.
I totally don't mind you doing anything that you wanna do in person. I'm just trying to help you get to where you wanna go.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So we can do the FOIA request, which will go through the attorney's office and they'll do the research. If we do the research, we have to charge you by the hour. I wanna say they will charge you also.
In a PDF file?
Yeah,
It
so they're
depends on-
gonna charge you for the research regardless, affixed to the lowest salary of the person.
Well, if
that's
it's
working in
all
the
on there
office.
and there's not much research to be done.
Well, we still have to go in and find the reports. So there will be some research time that we spend on it,
I mean,
but.
I'm fine with whatever fees affixed to it. I
Okay.
just wanna do the record in writing
Mhm.
per the
Okay.
law.
Alright, so you wanna do the FOIA request, that way, if I let you do it, you will fill out these questions and get it exactly the way you want it.
Correct.
So let me see if I can print that page out off of our website.
How you doing? I need to file those two things, please.
See, all of that is digital. You may actually have to go to, I can print this out for you, but it is gonna look weird.
Or you could just give me a blank sheet of paper and I can write it down that way.
You can do
Well, I
it
mean,
that
she's
way.
already got it wrote down. There it is, right there.
I mean, if you wanna take that, I'll just sign it and we'll make it official.
This is not really official.
So there is no official form per the state law.
This is it right here.
That's your county's form, so that's,
it, yeah.
yeah, but according to the state law, as long as it's in writing, then that's an official
It can
request.
be
So
on
can
a-
be
it can be on a
the back of the
napkin.
Index
It
card.
absolutely can.
Yes, ma'am.
That's
So
up to you.
we can work with this. I'll just sign it and date it, and then you make me a copy, and we'll use that.
How
And
about if I
then,
give, so that's really not.
I mean, it's up to
great.
you.
My handwriting's terrible.
Well, if you want to give me a piece of paper, I'll write it out.
That's absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I know. Can you give me a blank piece of paper? Just a plain old. Okay, so there's that. Give me just a second.
Or I could use the back of this. It doesn't matter.
So y'all excited about moving to your new digs?
I'm a little nervous about it because I'm worried about making sure it's fully complete. I feel like we're.
You mind if I see those? That way I don't forget anything.
Yes.
Well, you think they're gonna move y'all too soon or something?
I'm I'm a little worried about that. To make sure our dockets are run properly, we wanna make sure that we don't close to the public any longer than we have to, that we don't delay court any longer than we have to, so.
I know it took my son 3 years while that was being built to get a divorce. That's ridiculous.
Here in Spartanburg?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's not true, cause we do dock, I promise. Our judges will dismiss a case in 365 days if nothing's been done.
So you just called me a liar?
No, sir, I'm saying that the information you got about it is not true. Our dockets run 365 days and our judges are right on the money. If you look at our reports, we are better than 90% with closing out cases before 365 days.
He slipped through the cracks then, because I'm telling you.
Maybe, was it a pro se divorce? What, did he have an attorney on?
Mm-hmm.
Some cases take longer depending on what needs to be hashed out, but it's not about getting on the docket, it's about hashing things out in the background.
Well, I mean, it was uncontested, and it took that long.
Now, if it was during COVID, we did have some delays during COVID, but that building has not delayed court at all.
Well, something
I
happened.
promise you. And if you let me know who he is, I'll look at the case and see what happened on it and why it took so long to get that divorce. Because we don't want that to happen.
Well, it did, but I'm not going to give you his name.
Okay.
I mean,
You don't have to, that's totally fine. I will be glad to research it, however, and make sure it doesn't happen again.
well, I appreciate that part,
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
you know, I'm just not going to give out my son's name.
Well,
You know,
It's totally fine. Totally fine.
I mean,
So,
you don't have to believe me. That's fine,
Well,
but
so there's a rule that says after so many days, we take it to the chief administrative judge and he decides if he dismisses it or if he keeps it on the docket, and that will depend on what an attorney says. So he'll call the attorneys and go, hey, what's going on with this case? What's the holdup? But we are better than 90% on our 365.
like I said,
docket.
something went on because
Possibly,
it took that long.
It wouldn't be getting on the docket. If the pro se cases take longer because we put them on a specific day and those days fill up, but the attorney dockets are running like clockwork. So,
Yeah.
I'm sorry that he had.
I don't
that
know. I mean,
situation.
that was family court, so I don't know.
I run family court. Absolutely.
Well, something happened. I don't know.
Well, I'll be glad to look into it if he.
Because I kept telling him, I said,
look
man,
into it.
you need to call your lawyer to find out what's going on. This is crazy.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. My name is Amy Cox, and here's all my information. If you would like to call me or email me and have me look into what.
Well, if he wants to look into it, I'll let him do that. I mean, he's a grown man, so.
Yeah, he is a grown man. So I will be glad to look into that and see if I can adjust anything that.
I mean, he probably ain't gonna do it. I mean, it's over and done with now, so he probably don't care anymore. You know what I mean?
I hate that he feels like it took him 3 years because of something we did.
Well, it's not that he felt like it, sweetheart. It took him that long.
Well, it may have taken him that long to finish his divorce, but it wasn't because of our docket, guaranteed.
Okay,
Okay. I like your hat.
me too.
That's nice.
There you go.
Thank you, sir. I'm gonna have to forward this to the
Is it small?
attorney. It is very small.
Yeah, you right, small. Holy moly.
Yeah.
That's big. You know, I normally write smaller. I'm used to writing it in the little lines they give you on the paper.
Yeah.
Right. So this would get it to him much quicker. I'm gonna have to put this in our office and get it over there.
It's no problem.
You see, sweetheart, we're testing the system, okay?
Yeah. Well, technically, I'm not the right person, even though a lot of this has to do with my office. You're giving it to the wrong person. So the system would be going over there and taking it to that person.
And
you
then,
can get it
but
to them
the law
quicker.
says that it goes to any member of the
It
agency.
does, and I can take it, and that's what I'm doing.
Yes, ma'am.
But if you want to get it to him quicker, you could drive it to the office over there and hand it to him.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
Could I get
Yeah.
a timestamp copy of that, please?
You cannot get a clock copy of this. I'll sign a copy for you and put a date on it. But
Okay.
if we plot something here, that means we kept it as a filing on the case.
Okay.
So,
Every county's got their own rules, huh?
Is she the clerk?
Probably. What does that say? Yep, she's the clerk.
Yeah. This is the clerk of court.
Hey, lady, stop making all that noise. You're disturbing the peace.
What's that?
She's disturbing the peace.
Who?
Whoever.
Oh, with the noise?
That'll be $1 for the copy.
Wow.
Hold on, $1 for the copy.
Yes, sir.
I don't have $1. You see this?
That's absolutely, that's.
Wow,
what
that's
we have to
crazy.
charge.
That is crazy.
Hold this. I gotta take it.
See, I left, yeah, you left your wallet in the car
car
too. Yeah.
But had you brought a copy with you, I would have been glad to sign it without charging you the $1, but under the county ordinance, it's $1 for us to give you a.
I have never heard that.
I'm surprised she ain't charging us for that piece of paper too.
Technically, I
That
should
is
have, but
crazy.
this is a copy.
$1 a
It's
copy.
Can I see the
$1.
ordinance? I've never heard of that
It's written
before.
on that door right in here.
That is crazy.
It's not here.
The paper that we pay for.
The reason we want to charge you is because not everybody comes in here and gets a copy of it. It was right here.
Talking about right there, it says all copies $1 per page. Behind
Oh,
it.
yes, that one. Yes. I don't have the code number, but that is what the county tells us to charge.
Yeah.
I mean, you see
mean,
where
it's
we're
even
coming
in a
from, don't
statute.
you? We
Listen.
pay for all this.
I know you do. I know you do. But if we don't charge people, we have people who don't pay taxes in this county who would come up here and get thousands of copies. And you'd be paying for that with your tax dollars. If you come up here with a copy,
Well,
we won't
I'm
charge
saying
you.
this needs to be legitimate business, you know.
Well,
But,
but yeah, but
if I'm
legitimate.
thinking correctly, 30-4-30 in subsection G, there is no charge for a FOIA request. You can't affix even for the copy.
Well, we're not charging you for the request. I'm charging you for a copy because
Right,
the
so
county
you
tells me
can't
I
charge for the
have
copy
to.
because the copy is part of the request.
But the copy wasn't part of the request. I can take your request without giving you a copy of it.
Subsection H says that I'm required a copy of it so that I can prove that I have an official record.
Well, let's look that up.
I think it's H. But here, give me the file. I'm gonna run out and grab $1 for my copy,
For real?
just in case. Might not have to, but yeah. 30-4-30.
Don't steal my car.
So what's the code section you want me to look up? 30 dash.
What is it 30 dash? Is it 30 dash? What's the thing for the 40? 30-40 or something like that? And then he said something about section H.
Hey, let's just look up South Carolina. FOIA. West.
But he's running the car to get $1.
Good, okay.
That's why, you know, I mean, we've never had that happen before. This is the first time.
And you were always going without paper?
I'm sorry?
You were always going without an extra copy
What do you mean extra copy?
of your FOIA request?
Oh yeah, we always get a timestamp copy. That's the first time we've not been able to get a timestamp too.
In the clerk of court's office, they clock stamp it as filed, because our clock will all say filed with the clerk's office.
Well, I don't know about whether it says filed, but it you know, it's just a timestamp saying they received it.
Oh yeah, no, lots of offices do have received stamps.
Right. That's all we were asking for.
Yeah, we don't have that here. Anything that we clock here says filed on it. And we can't take it, unless it is being filed on a case, we just can't take it. We can't give you a copy that says it's been filed. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Public inspection, copy of hours of operation, minutes of meetings.
I think it's in there. Is there an H in 34-30?
Alright, so we got 30-4 You want us to look at 30-4-30. There's a D, it goes to D. Okay, so. I don't see an H in there.
Well, I'm sure he's not 100% about the H part, but I mean, he knows all that better than I do. There he is again. She says there's no H.
Well, if you tell me the code section, I'm looking all over the place. What's the code section?
I just talked to Skip. So I'm not Skip. Sam. And so yeah. So the way that the law reads, so there is no fee associated with the copy until after the FOIA has been completed, because they charge 10 cents per copy according to the statute.
So what part of the statute shows me that?
I don't remember. It's in there somewhere. Hit Control F
Okay.
and then type in per page, and it should pop up. Nope, it didn't pop up. But yeah, there's a section that says you can charge for the research hours, and then you charge per page or per copy of the page. So that's the only part of the statute where you're allowed to charge for the copy.
Well, under Spartanburg Spartanburg County ordinance, I have to charge you $1 for making you a copy of any paper here.
That is ridiculous.
Yeah, but how can you make an ordinance that overrides the
If
state?
you can show me in the state law that the state law says different, I'll be glad to not charge you that. That's what I'm looking up. I don't do FOIA law as a practice, but if you can show me in the law that the
Well, see,
state
we're not
law
trying to
overrides-
give you a hard time.
I know you're not.
We-
I know you're not. I get it. Listen, I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative. I support everything you're doing here.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
That's very rare that we hear that.
There's nothing in my office that I want to hide. There are some things that we cannot show you as far as personal information, bank accounts, that sort of
We're
thing.
not here for personal information.
And I totally get
Like
it.
I said, we're here to test the system.
Well,
That's
I
it.
want you to show that my office is completely transparent
Mhm.
in everything that we can possibly be transparent
Well,
about.
you're doing great. You're doing great. You know, we just have a little thing here and we'll get it figured out.
Yeah. There's no way I would say a county ordinance overrides the state law. So if you can show me that the state law says I don't charge you for this copy, I'll be glad to not charge you.
I do have a question too. I don't know if you can answer it, but
Yes, sir.
this is perfectly legal to be in here, not in a courtroom
Not in the courtroom
and not in the solicitor's office right now.
Mhm.
But why
Which I
are
think
those
is-
signs still on the door saying you can't?
We have an order from Chief Justice Beatty that says that you cannot record in private offices.
It says no cell phones, no electronic devices are
If there's a
allowed
sign, we need to
in
take it
here.
down because we've removed all the rest of those.
Oh
in
no,
there.
it's the largest sign on your two middle front doors.
I haven't even noticed.
At the
I
very
come in this
bottom,
door.
yeah, at the very bottom, it's highlighted in red and it says no electronic devices.
Oh, that is our security information. So there are some security stuff on there,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
that's
so
older
it-
than the order from Chief Justice Beatty.
Yeah, so it starts off reading like no, I think it's no tasers, no knives,
Yes,
and then
yes.
as you get down to the bottom, it gets more. What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
And see,
Stupid.
one of the things we look for is there's no law attached to it because the judge can't make law.
Yeah, but the security of the building, we can enforce.
Okay, how is this a security risk?
I'm not saying that is a security risk, but what I am saying is if there's a reason why it's a security risk, then we
Mhm.
can keep you from bringing it in this building. I can't believe they let you bring that stand in here because that is definitely dangerous.
What, this?
Yeah, you can use it. to
Okay, I'm gonna
smack
ask
somebody
you-
across the head.
Do they
I was-
allow handicapped people to bring a cane in?
Absolutely. But that's an
So-
ADA issue.
When Channel 13 or whatever 7 comes in here, they bring their big old 50, 60 pound
That's
tripods in here.
Absolutely true. But you do know there's a difference between the media getting access to a courtroom because they do that through the court system.
And we are media. Everybody likes
Do
to
you have a
say,
press badge?
who issues press badges?
The press corps does that. You can go online and apply to
I
get-
do. I'm a member of the Associated Press,
See, he did it.
but I'm not required to.
No, you're not required to. You
There's
can put
no
anything you
state or
want to.
federal agency that issues press passes.
How'd you get yours?
Huh?
How'd you get your press badge?
I used to work for a big press company.
They're
used to-
issued online. You go.
Yeah,
to
he
apply,
and
you
the
get
and
one.
the and the company
I mean,
issued it.
Technically, you could go on,
My
Word
point-
and make one. I mean,
My point is,
Good. Yes, sir.
you know the First Amendment, right?
I totally know that First Amendment. Yes.
All 5 elements,
You can lay them out for me, but I did take constitutional law in law school.
but in there, we the people
Uh-huh.
have the right to press.
Right?
So you're the press, I'm the press, we're all the press.
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
No, maybe.
You've got to get approval from a judge to get into a courtroom.
Oh, I'm not even trying to go to a courtroom.
True.
I'm just saying.
That's true.
People say that we're not the press. We're all the press.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to have to concede that point with you. If that's how you see it, that's how you see it.
That's how it reads.
It's not how exactly it reads.
What do you mean?
That is the word. So it's up there on the wall. You can read it. That's not exactly
Yeah.
the wording. But
so
I get your point.
it's 30-4-30 subsection B.
30
Now, I have it pulled up here if you want to
30
read it.
dash what?
30-4-30 subsection B.
I still want to say again, you've been wonderful.
Yes,
Thank you.
This is this is a breath.
40?
30.
30.
This is a breath of fresh air. Because
I kind of like being recorded. Okay, so this is the right to inspect, and you said it was
It says it's in
Hey.
B.
I can't
public
follow
bodies
this,
may
they said I
establish
had
and
10
collect
days
fees
to
as
follow
provided
motions
for
to
this
stay.
section.
No, yeah, give me a
And
copy.
according to
Thank you.
the state's current copy rate is 10 cents per page.
Okay, the state is, but the
If an
public body
electronic-
may establish and collect fees.
Yeah, so again, that's for the fulfillment of the request, not for like a copy of submitting the request.
Well, this is a cost of submitting the request because you're asking me to make you a copy.
I'm gonna pay for it, but like you said, we're gonna
Overrides
agree to
state law.
disagree on this one.
Yes, absolutely, and if you want to take
It-
this to the county attorney and say, hey, I don't think it's fair for me to have to pay for this copy, he can say, yes, we'll refund you that and take it off the cost of your total request. So here's your copy, you want me to sign it?
Yes,
Say-
please.
Okay.
doing okay today?
Yeah, what about yourself?
Oh, I'm blessed beyond belief, man.
Blessed and highly favored.
Yeah. Every day these feet hit the floor, you know, I'm
You know, I got a lot
thankful
of people.
too.
I got a lot of people that mad at me because I always look at the positive side of the situation.
What's wrong with that?
It's because you have a world of almost Debbie Downers, almost in all colors and shapes
Well-
and sizes.
Unfortunately, that is by design.
Yeah, by design. Thank you. It's a programming.
Our government wants us to be at each other's throats.
They do. That's
Preach.
absolutely
That's all I can say.
It's all by design.
You know why they want us to be at each other's throats? So they can do these little protocols and these little experiments and these little projects right up under your nose, and you so at each other that you don't know what's going on.
That's right. We're not each other's enemy.
Mm-mm.
We need to make sure we're focused on the right.
Right.
That's right.
And let me tell you this is just my opinion. As an educated black woman, the world has changed so much that some of these laws that they got in place need to change along with the world.
Oh, yeah.
Because some of these laws don't apply to the world that we're in right
Well, That's the whole problem. There's too many laws.
Right,
And
too many.
They keep making more and more each day to
There's
suppress
10 new
us,
ones every day.
to
I don't know.
keep us down.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so records for family court, would I make that here or
But
over
the
at
only
family
people
court?
coming up is
You can make
rich.
it right here, I'm the clerk for family court.
Awesome. Well, I'll just add it on there. Or do I need to do a separate request?
It's up to you. I'm not telling you how to do your FOIA request, that's your decision.
But you told me I had to pay $1.
No, you don't. I'll pay $1 for a copy, you can put it on here and put it on that other one.
I only have one.
They're like me, I'm representing myself. You see what I'm saying?
Pro se, yeah.
On several cases.
Mhm.
And I'm learning, it's like,
Do you
now
mind if I put you on
understand
camera?
it's a bill. No, I don't mind.
You sure?
No.
Okay. Pro se, litigant right here.
Hey, my name is Chandra Parker, and I want every individual to know that we all have rights.
The email
And
address, right?
anything that
Amen.
you do, you have a right. Just don't take anything, stand up for yourself, and request to be counted. Stand up for your rights. Research, ask questions, know what you're talking about before you go into place. Don't let anybody get over on you. This
Artists
your
with a Z,
life.
That's right.
and it's artists.
Amen, sister. You mind if I give you a little hug? All right.
I needed a hug.
So you want the foundation on this, so that's not on your copy.
Yes, ma'am.
You wanna write it on your?
No, I got it.
Okay. You all right today?
I just want to give me a little dap. Again, you've been the greatest.
Yeah, I like
I mean,
that.
Out of
You
all
are the
courthouses-
best clerk of court we've run into in a long
Put
time.
this on the internet, right?
Yes.
So what
Yeah.
are you all doing? I'm
For
just,
election in March, so.
I got you.
I mean, we go all around the states doing this.
Are y'all from Spartanburg?
No,
Where are y'all from, if you don't mind me asking? You from a
United
different
States of America.
I'm from the upstate.
county? Okay, alright, so if you can't vote for me,
What are you
I'm still
doing?
glad that I live home.
But I can definitely get it people
what
that
do you
do.
do?
I'll tell you in
Oh,
just a
okay, I'm
minute.
sorry.
Yeah, I mean, I go to meetings with people
About
like you all.
26% of my viewer base is from Spartanburg. So.
Fantastic, fantastic.
To go forward with the case.
You know, what kind of elected officials do you like here in Spartanburg County? Is there somebody from here that you guys like?
Just you.
Mhm.
Okay, that'll be fine, thank you.
What I mean is like the state people or the, no, nobody?
No.
You- No? Okay. I mean, we've got a lot.
She's not only of sound mind, she's pretty too.
Mhm.
If there was one, if there's any elected official that I would get rid of today, would definitely be the sheriff.
In Spartanburg County?
Mhm.
Really?
Yeah.
Because most of our conservative group loves him.
What's his name?
Do we have, is there an
Chuck
issue with
White.
him specifically?
It's not him. It's well, I guess it is him because he's over the entire department, but it's primarily just the deputies.
Yeah, because I met the sheriff. He
Deputies
seems
to me
to be a
are
good guy.
fantastic. I'm
Yeah.
just wondering, is there a specific
Ma'am.
thing that makes you say
I just
him?
needed that copy for the silver
No.
case.
It's
I
a
guess
lot
she
of
can
stuff. I won't go into
incorporate it. Don't worry
details,
about
but-
it. She can add it.
His, I mean, he's one of our strongest, he's got more support in Spartanburg.
Well, he
County
might
than
be,
most.
but he needs to drag in his deputies a little bit.
Okay, he might be interested in hearing that. Have y'all talked to him about that?
No, how many times has he refused to meet with us now?
No.
5, 6, something like that.
Yeah, I mean, you're not from here and you won't tell him where you're from. That's kind of suspicious.
Oh, he knows where I'm from.
Oh, he knows?
Mhm.
Okay.
And then we say, well, is suspicious a crime? Is that a felony or a misdemeanor?
It's not.
Neither.
But it does lead to, are you just doing the gotcha on him? You know, are you just trying to ambush him? And,
We just don't, we've run into several of his deputies that don't know the law. We'll leave it at that.
well, yeah, they get trained on a whole lot of stuff, but what you're pulling on them is stuff that they're not really trained on. So are you going into places and they're like,
And
saying
that's,
you
and
can't
that,
film it,
and
you can't
therein,
film it?
that's the problem with policing today.
Mhm.
They go, for example, down there in, where was it, Oconee? 8 weeks
Oh, you didn't tell you when
is
you
their
got there?
academy. 8 weeks.
Can you write it down?
How long does it take to get a
18th
barber's
of
license?
what?
2 years in this state.
Yeah.
December 18th.
I mean, is that, that's a problem.
Is a state academy.
In the postal mail?
The state academy, it goes for all certified law
What time you
enforcement
think?
officers. So,
If you can print it
Yeah.
out for me.
My,
that'd
my
be
point
fine.
is, our law enforcement today
Uh-huh.
needs way more training.
I totally agree with you. We need
Because
more
they're
training
out there
for law
enforcing laws that they don't know and arrest people for, and then they get off from making false arrests and all this kind of stuff because of what?
Well, they get immunity for doing
There
their
you
job.
go.
But we need money for funding. We need money for
Do I need to bring
training.
this paper then?
So
Y'all don't,
we have to.
y'all don't steal enough of our money already?
Okay.
She's like, I didn't steal it.
I mean, you gotta argue either you want a safe street, you want a safe
Thank you.
neighborhood, you want
Oh, I agree.
to not be able to come in and kill you, or you wanna pay for good trained officers. So you got one or the other. You can't have it for free. You gotta pay for it. Right, so that's where you're bumping up against the wall. If you
Well,
don't get any
here's
more
my
money.
response to that.
It's already.
All the money government wastes,
Okay, so
they could pay for the training.
where do you see the waste at? What, you need to tell us where the waste is. And you need to also, you need to also tell your representative
Right.
where the waste is, right? So what do you consider waste? Do you consider my
Oh, how
paycheck a
much
waste?
time I
Do
need
you
to be in
consider
front
their
of the
paycheck
judge?
a waste?
Oh no, I'm talking about the federal.
See,
Well, the federal won't pay for our law enforcement training. That's a state issue. They won't pay for that. I wish they would.
Y'all get all kind of federal funds.
What now?
I said y'all get all kind of federal funds.
We don't. We don't. Our office is fully funded with the county and with some state funds.
I'm talking about this Spartanburg government.
They do on occasion get, we got ARP money funds, which was the COVID fund.
You know there's so much money wasted. You know it.
I'm not doubting that we have money that's wasted, but you cannot call for more training and still safer streets and not pay for it.
I mean, we need, we have to have policing, no doubt about it.
Say again?
I said, we have to have policing. We have to have police. Well, in my opinion, they should do away with police, period.
December 18th at 2:30.
They should do away with police, period.
Schedule on.
It should all be under the sheriff.
Okay, so you want one authority in a jurisdiction to be in control of all the policing. Because that's true, we do have multiple jurisdictions within Spartanburg County that do have their own police department.
I think there should be nothing but sheriff. That's it.
I'm not
That,
gonna
you know,
argue
my reasoning for that is that is an elected official. So if he's not doing his job, then we vote him out.
then you can vote him
We
out.
can't vote out a chief.
Well, you can vote out the council members that are supporting that bad chief, and you can vote out the mayor that's supporting that bad chief, so there's ways to do it.
And that takes forever.
It does,
But,
I
I
agree.
mean,
It does.
I'm just giving my opinion. I think it should be all under the sheriff, all law enforcement.
I'm not gonna argue against that, because I'm not sure that's not a good idea. So, but what I am saying is, safe homes, safe streets require someone to put on the color of authority and get in between you and the bad guy. And if you wanna have good trained officers to do that, then you gotta pay for it.
Okay, but on the flip side, is that fair to the citizens that get violated every day because they don't know the law?
Well, I'm not sure how that is the flip side of what I'm saying. I want officers to be trained every.
Oh, so do I.
Sheriff Chuck Wright sends his people to train. They get training all the time, constantly, and they get federal guidelines pushed on them all the time. And the sheriff either decides to do it or not to do it. And Sheriff Chuck Wright constantly has his crew training, retraining, going to different places all over the country to train. He is adamant on making sure his officers are well trained. But now, if you're saying someone's getting arrested for an obscure law, or they're enforcing something against you that you feel like they should not enforce against you, that's maybe more of an obscure
I'm
law.
gonna give you an example.
Okay,
Me and him were out filming one day in Spartanburg. We're walking down the road. On the left side of the road, oncoming traffic, the way you're supposed to, right?
okay,
We're walking down, and then there's grass this tall
Okay,
that we came up to, right? We crossed the street
Where the grass is cut.
where the easement was wide open.
so you crossed,
We crossed the road to walk where
Okay.
it would be safer for us
and is there a
instead
law
of
saying that
walking.
you can't cross the road there?
Now, so the law states
No,
that
no,
you
no.
have to walk on the side of the road that opposing traffic is coming.
The,
Yeah.
the sheriff said that we should have walked through that jungle.
Is that what, but that's the law,
Instead
and
of-
he's enforcing the law, though,
Oh,
right?
come on now.
Listen, I'm
This
not
is what
saying
I'm talking
every
about.
law is good, I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is, you're saying they don't know the law, when in fact they did know the law and enforced
Well,
it the way
yeah,
the
on
law is
that,
written.
but there's a whole, sweetheart, there is a
That's
crazy
whether or
amount.
not They have
I want to appeal
the
decision
the
ruling by
discretion
the
to
clerk
decide
of-
whether
no,
or
by
not you
the
break the
master
law,
of
you get
deputy.
away with it, and he breaks the law and he doesn't. Now that.
That
is your
officer
problem.
threatened to arrest me within 16 seconds.
But you realize there's a reason why that law's in place.
So,
That's
what
for the
is this-
safety of
what's
those
next?
people walking on the road.
Okay, so again though, what's safer for me to walk through 6 feet of grass that I can't see what's inside of it, and I know there's
Okay, what
rocks and
about
stuff over there, and then I fall and hurt myself?
Then walking.
Or do I
traffic
walk
light
on the-
come up behind you and hit you.
Okay, well, so
I
how would
think
they know
probably
about
grass.
this?
But that's
Who?
just my opinion,
Okay.
and it's your
Okay.
opinion as to
Alright,
whether
so
or
I
not
need to go back
you
down
have
there.
even gone there.
Okay, thank
But
you.
as you say, they are trained on the
Yeah,
law and
I
they
need
were
to-
enforcing the law
I need-
as it's
I
written.
want to appeal at the ruling by.
It shouldn't matter what side of the road you walk on in America.
But
I wasn't
that's
mad about the
that's
fact-
not- the politicians write the laws, the officers only enforce them.
I wasn't upset about him enforcing the law. I was upset at the fact that within 16 seconds of his interaction, you're threatening to take us to jail for merely walking on the side of the road.
And I get what you're saying, but in my mind, I'm thinking you were probably antagonistic towards the officer before it even got
No.
to that.
I would implore you to watch the video.
I would love, so you were filming him doing his job.
No,
in an
no, we were
No, no,
filming
no.
walking down the street.
We were walking
and then
down
he
the
turned-
road.
He comes
Let's
around the
just be
corner.
honest about it. Isn't that what you were trying to do?
No.
Make sure he knew you were filming.
No,
And
we didn't
make
even
sure-
know he was
No.
anywhere around.
We were walking down the road. We were filming over where the gas depot and all is.
Gas depot.
Over there like you're going out to Packlet,
So.
where they fill up all the trucks and stuff.
So you're talking about Cedar Springs where 56 crosses 295? Because Packlet's down this way, right?
Well, I don't know all the Spartanburg roads.
So I'm just trying to, in my mind, I think I know where you're talking about, but I
It's
don't
where
know
all the
what
big
graph
tanks
is.
and all are, you know.
I just don't drive down that way very often, but I
Well,
do know
anyway,
that
we were over there filming that gas depot, and then got done. Here, if you got people, we got done. Cameras were off, and we were walking back to the car, and that's what I'm saying. We ran into that big old obstacle, so we crossed the road, and that's when he pulls up.
And it was a sheriff's deputy, not a Packlet deputy?
Yeah, Spartanburg Sheriff, yeah.
Okay.
And so I'm walking, right?
I got the video. You want
And
me
then
to
he
see it?
says, sir. Well, I kept walking. And then he says, stop now or you're going to be under arrest. Within 16 seconds.
Was he trying to stop you from crossing the road?
No.
No. Okay. Well, I mean, what I can tell you is the law was written.
I
and
get
you're
that.
admitting
I
that
know
he
I was on the
enforcing
wrong
as
side of the road when
written.
he
You
saw
admitted
me.
You violated the law
Oh, Lord.
as it's written. I'm just making your officer.
I know.
here.
And I'll give him credit after I pointed out to him in the video what he was doing was total retaliation, which he admitted on camera,
So retaliation for what?
because the people around there called the police because we were out in public filming.
Okay. I'm just not sure what they would be mad at if you weren't filming something that What were you filming that would make them mad?
It doesn't matter what you film.
No, it doesn't.
I can walk out
I'm
here
just
right
wondering
now.
What would make them mad?
I could go down here downtown.
Yeah.
It's
you
already
can.
happened.
Yeah.
And walk down Main Street.
Before you get to the end of
Filming.
Main Street, 3 people have called the police.
Okay. Well, I'm not even sure why people would be mad at you for that. But now,
It's
we
not
did
that they're
have a-
mad. They feel like you're invading their privacy in public.
They think there's privacy in public.
which we know there's not.
They don't know that. 90% of the citizens don't know that.
And that's
But it
part
does
of
make people
what we do.
uncomfortable when you're filming them.
Okay, now we're talking about feelings.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
And today's police,
They like to enforce feelings over
they're
the
the
law.
feelings police nowadays.
I have to say the ones I know don't enforce feelings. They enforce laws that may be brought up based on some.
If you were out there doing what we do every day,
Mhm.
you might have a different opinion.
I don't have a different opinion that the law is written and they enforce it. We agree on that. That we need training.
Yeah, they
for
enforce law
officers.
sometimes, and sometimes they enforce feelings.
But the law that he was enforcing wasn't a feeling; it was a written
Oh, I'm
law.
beyond
on that
that.
specific day, yes. We all agree that he was
I'm
enforcing
beyond
I mean,
the
that was
walking
your
thing now.
example that you were giving me as to
My
that they
point
weren't
being,
trained properly.
it shouldn't be in the United States of America, land of the home and the brave and all that stuff.
I agree with a
It
lot,
should
but I
not
don't think
matter
we should be
what
doing it.
side of the road you walk on. It shouldn't.
Well, I don't disagree that we are very too paternalistic in our society.
You need over here?
No, I'm with you.
You need over here?
I'm just fine.
Well, I think we're done anyway. And again, I appreciate you. You just do not believe. I appreciate the engagement.
Absolutely.
That just don't happen. I mean, you're the
I love
best.
it. Listen,
You
I'm
are the
a
best
trial
clerk of
attorney.
court.
I will argue all day.
I think she's the best one we've ever run into, in my opinion.
Thank you very
I
much.
do. You
I
are.
call on you when I don't.
Even better than the one in my hometown. And
Who is
she's
it?
pretty decent.
Who is your?
If I told you, you would know where I stay.
I will be glad to call her and say your guy said you were awesome.
Nah.
Well,
Okay.
I don't live where he lives.
Okay.
Oh, he stays. I live.
So I know all the.
Did you
clerks-
just do that?
No, I'm not.
Okay. I mean, I know all the clerks in the county, we're all in the same, all the clerks in the state, we're all in the same organization. So,
That's why
Well,
I said you would know exactly where I was talking about.
yeah, I'll be glad to let them know, and we train on
I'd be
this.
down to give you a raise.
That's fantastic. Cause you're gonna know how much I make after they turn in this FOIA request.
That is true.
So,
Public record.
You don't make as much as the school superintendent, I can tell you that much.
very true. I don't make as much as a lot of people.
That has had how many DUIs?
4. 148,000 a year.
I fully believe that we should not be number one above the law, and that you shouldn't want to pay somebody to be rich serving you. But if you expect service, you've got to pay enough for people to survive. These people here don't make enough to apply for an apartment complex here in Spartanburg County. Now you tell me that's fair.
I'm not saying that is.
It is not fair. It is not fair for them to come to work every day and not be able to pay enough for childcare and not have enough to live on. That's not fair. So
Go on strike.
I won't go on strike because I don't believe in that.
I was just
believe in
making a
that.
joke.
But I will say we are fighting with council. They have done a lot. The council has done a lot for us, but I think it's not fair for these people to serve the citizens of Spartanburg County and the state and not get paid enough to live here.
Mhm.
I don't think that's fair.
Well, I bet the police officers don't get paid
They do not
what
get
they
paid
should
enough
here either.
to stand in front of you and take a bullet from a bad guy. No, sir, they don't. And they do that every day here. They are good people, and I support them. Just saying, if there's a bad guy walking in here with a gun, they're gonna be in between you and that bad guy. They're not gonna run away.
Hope it's not any that we've ran into before.
I guarantee you, my officers in this building are standing up and they're gonna protect us, and they deserve more money for it. All day
I
long.
tell you, you got a real good canine cop here,
We've got a lot of good
and one
officers.
bad one.
I don't know any bad ones. but we've got
That's
lots
not. That's
of
an
good ones.
understatement. He's the worst deputy I've ever. No, I'm sorry. He works for the city police. He's the worst police officer I've
I
ever
don't know
met.
any of the city police officers, so I cannot confirm or deny that, but what I can say is all my deputies that I know, I am proud to know. And they would stand up to protect either one of you, no matter what you believe
I believe
about
that.
them or their job,
I believe it.
okay? I can't say that about every officer, because I don't know every officer, but I can say the ones that I know are good people, and they would die trying to save your lives.
Well, good. Those are the kind of officers we need.
We need to pay them more, we need to respect them.
Yeah. If they're good, I respect them. If they're bad, I'm sorry. Respect is earned.
To me, it's earned when they put on that badge and agree to be the person.
Just any
standing
Joe
up and
Schmo
being the
can
bad
put
guy.
on go through the track. Just anybody can put on a badge and
That's
go.
not true. That is absolutely not true.
Ah.
There's a lot of people who want to be police officers and cannot, because our sheriff won't let them. Absolutely won't let them.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not anybody that can be a police officer, and not everybody's brave enough to actually do it.
Well, not anyone could be a sheriff in Spartanburg County. We'll put it that way. Because we know a lot of areas they don't care. But Spartanburg County, I will say that the standard in which he picks his officers seems to be a little bit better than a lot of the other
He has a
counties.
very high standard.
The
I
knowledge
expect
base
him
in
to
which those
perform.
deputies have.
Well, we
seems to
keep
be
flipping
different,
from
but-
city to county to.
And I can't speak to municipalities that you may know. I know my deputies that are here in this building are good people, and they are worthy of respect.
And we have met some good Spartanburg County deputies, and we've met bad ones. Just the same with the city. We've met good, we've met bad.
And it's like that anywhere you go. You're always gonna have good and
You know
bad.
what?
In any profession, any profession,
That's right. That's right. There are good and bad clerks.
you might have a bad employee in here. Don't know.
I have done my best to weed out anybody that would not respect you for walking up here. My ladies are not comfortable being filmed. You understand that. You get that every day, I'm sure.
Okay,
So
but
they
when
call
they
on me to deal with
when
it.
they sign up for working for the public, this comes with it.
But I don't want them to be uncomfortable unnecessarily.
So what would they do?
I will come up here and do that.
What would they do if you weren't at work today? Would they not have
I'm
service
hardly
to
ever not here.
But we're just saying, hypothetically, if you weren't here, would we not get service today because they felt
They
uncomfortable?
would be nervous about you filming them. That's absolutely true.
So what are you going to do
But we're
today
not-
to
we're not
fix
here to
their,
hurt anybody.
their uncomfortableness?
I realize you're not trying to hurt them, but they are nervous. I mean, people who aren't used, so trial attorney and politician, I love a camera. I love a microphone. I want to be in front of the public, and I want to talk to as many people as I can talk to. That's not their job, right? Their job is to serve the public that comes to this window. They are going to get nervous thinking that you're going to put them on Facebook, stumbling over their words, doing something wrong, but that makes them nervous, right? You understand that. You understand that.
I
It's not
understand
about
it.
they don't like you, it's that you got a camera in their face while they're trying to do their job. And you know what that means. You know what I mean.
A camera pointed at him. I just don't like people saying you got a camera in my face.
But that's what it is. You got a camera pointed at them, taking down everything they say and everything they do. It makes someone nervous that they're gonna make a mistake.
And it's our civic duty to hold our government accountable.
And that's why I'm here letting you film whatever you wanna film.
Letting me?
I'm not arguing with you. I could put a sign up here based on that order that says you're not allowed to film in here because we consider this a private office. But I don't because I don't believe in that,
That's,
right?
and that, you're the kind of public servants we need.
I want you to see everything. As a matter of fact, I want all of my,
Can we clone you? Like,
We need
over and
46 of
over
you.
and over and over again?
no, I'm sorry. I want to be the only one. But there are lots of good clerks in the state. We train on this at every conference. We have a clerk whose job it is to train us on this, what you guys
But
do.
see, what we learned is
Some of them must not be listening.
it's not about their training. It's about the person themselves.
Right.
Like you have to possess the genuality to have the job. Like there's a lot of people that are just genuinely not people, and they sit behind a desk and they think they're above the law and they're above other people because they're the clerk. and they talk down on you and such. And those are the ones that typically get paid the most throughout the state, and the ones that interact with the people, go out of their way, they get treated like garbage and get overlooked.
In I don't want to say poor city, or a city that doesn't have as much money as other cities.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know about the funding on I don't know whether the pay for the county clerk would determine whether they're like me or not. Because we do have a lot of small town clerks who are just chomping at the bit to be able to serve the public.
I know in McCormick's clerk of court makes just as much as the clerk of court in Greenville.
That's interesting, because the clerk of court in Greenville has 2 buildings and probably 150 employees, I'm just guessing.
And McCormick has 11 employees.
Yeah. That can
You
be a
need a
big
clerk,
deal.
ma'am?
She'll get some money.
Come on over.
Okay, thank you.
Well, I don't want to hold anybody up or whatever.
And she's due for 11% raise this year.
She did ask for that?
11%.
Yeah, I can't speak to that because I don't know her particular situation. I have never asked for a raise. I don't feel it's my place to ask for a raise. If everybody here gets a raise, then I think I should get a raise too, because we're all together, but I don't feel like that.
I mean, if you are performing, I mean, I'm sure you get evaluated, right?
No.
They don't
My
evaluate?
evaluation's on the ballot.
The citizens evaluate her.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you're
Clerk is elected.
elected.
Yeah, so my evaluation comes every 4 years on the ballot,
When's your next election?
March 24th.
Next year?
Well, that's when I have to run, so if nobody runs against me on the Republican ticket, it's a presidential election. So I will get the benefit, even if somebody runs as a Democrat against me, I will get the benefit of a lot of people in this town just pulling that R, straight ticket.
Gotcha.
So I get the disadvantage of everybody that pulls the straight D, because it won't drop into my pile just because there's nobody running against me, but I do get the benefit of running on the presidential ticket, and a lot of people in this town just drop that
Excuse me.
off.
Why don't you run for president?
Will you give me, how much is it to file? It's like $2 million, say?
2.4, I believe.
Just to file? If you got that much money,
Really?
I'll be glad to file.
That's
I'm just-
crazy.
There's so many people running for president right now.
And you gotta have like a standing.
Well, they're
12
dropping like flies now.
And you gotta have a standing $12 million in support money
Yeah.
at the
You
time
gotta
that you
have-
signed up
gotta
to run.
have-
Yeah.
Unless you run as an independent, and I'm not real comfortable running as that, and there's hardly any chance for an independent to win.
That's very unfortunate.
When was the last independent that won?
I don't think.
I don't think
anybody's
nobody
done
has
Never.
ever won.
So-
They never will, as long as there's 2 parties.
Yeah.
that. Well, there used to be multiples, like, in the very beginning, there used to be multiple different parties, but it's kind of weeded out to the major 2 parties.
In my opinion, nowadays, it doesn't matter. Democrat, Republican, they're all the same.
So no,
So-
I don't believe that, because the policies that the Republicans would push are more libertarian than the Democrats. would
I'm
push.
saying that in a way that they're the same. Up there in the district of criminals, they're not for we the people.
Yes, well.
They're
right
for
now-
lining them pockets.
And I see that, so we see where Joe Biden's got a lot of money off of Hunter, right? You saw that, right? Where he's been collecting
course.
money from China and Ukraine and all over the world, he's just pulling money in and nobody's doing anything about
And that
it.
indictment of him was a sham.
Right?
That's to distract
That's-
and say, oh, we indicted him,
That's
and they're
right.
gonna forget about all the rest of the stuff.
That's right. Now, who's gonna do a better job of cleaning that kind of scum out? Republicans or Democrats?
Well, I got you. That's why we need at least another party. I mean, something's gotta change.
Okay.
Because it's not gonna be too much longer, in my opinion, that the people are gonna really start standing up. And it's gonna get nasty.
Who are they standing up against?
The government.
I'm
It's
the
gonna
government.
happen. You watch.
I'm the government. right?
That
But
is true.
I agree with you. And a lot of the people that you sent.
But
to
I'm not talking about local government.
But that's where we are. I have to swear allegiance to the Constitution.
Right.
And the powers that enforce the Constitution just to take this seat. If you are gonna fight against the government that I've sworn allegiance to, that's me. That's you fighting against me. But my whole thing is, we are all the government. We vote, we participate. Can you tell me what's going on in the House and the Senate right now? They're passing that continuing resolution to keep us funding this government. The staunch Republicans do not want to pass that continuing resolution with all that money in there. So that's where all that money's wasted, because it just goes to stuff, right? It goes to somebody's fishery, it goes to somebody's bridge, it goes to somebody's pet project. But
Goes
those
to
people
Ukraine.
get elected on it. They get elected on giving stuff away. And so they stay in their seat based on the fact that they got that put in that bill and paying people to keep them in office.
Well,
But
I
you
believe
can't make an agreement unless we get the Senate and the House and the White House all in Republican hands so that we can write bills that make sense. You will not see a change in this country. It's gonna stay exactly how it is, because they have to both compromise with each other, and then it's gotta be signed at the White House.
yeah, I believe there should only be one party, just like there should
The
only be
Communist Party.
there should only be
Huh? Well, that's
there
going
should
so
only
well.
be one church, like there's supposed to be.
And who chooses what that church is? Who gets to choose that? When the other party's in power?
No, I'm
they're telling
saying-
you what to believe.
There should only be one church. Man did all that.
Okay.
You don't think so? The church came along.
I
Somebody
believe what I
somebody
believe.
somebody got in an argument about the color of the carpet. Well, I'm gonna go start another church.
I don't care about that part, but my point is, some people are Muslim. Do you want a Muslim to be the president and then?
Nah, he's
we
the
have
Muslim.
to believe how he believes. Do you want that to be?
That's
the
my
president?
son right there.
Okay, but you don't want the other party to get in power and then change what we all believe. You see what I'm saying there?
No, my point was,
That religions don't matter. We have one God and we should worship one God. I got it.
right.
But,
I mean, never mind. You're missing my point.
well, I'm hoping I'm missing your point.
I'm saying the government.
I don't want one party. That's communism. That's.
No, I'm not saying that.
Thank you.
If
Are you trying to say things? Thank you.
if the government is for the people, by the people, blah blah blah, then why not just have one party and it be for the people, by the people, and that's it?
Well, because
We're supposed to be the boss.
Let me just explain this. The city council is nonpartisan in Spartanburg County.
Okay.
I don't have a clue who they are or what they believe. Because there's nothing that tells me what their policies will be. Right?
Hmm.
The mayor, nonpartisan. The school boards, nonpartisan. Until they come out and say, I am this type of person, I believe this, how do we know who they are and what they believe?
Well,
Yes, he after we
Right?
hmm?
I like parties to tell me who they are and what they believe. That's the way I believe.
And but what we see, not saying you, but these politicians, they go out and do their campaigns and they make all these promises,
They lie.
and
I
then
don't
as soon as
believe
they
that
get
the
there,
federal government can say it's illegal for us to lie to them, but it's not illegal for them to lie to us. I think that should be a thing.
right? That's like just like you said, the cops can lie to us, but we can't lie to them.
I mean, technically, you can lie to the Spartanburg County Police Department. There's a federal thing, though, that you can't lie to the federal government. Yeah. And you can lie to the Spartanburg County Police Department all day long. If you file a false police report, they can prosecute you for that.
Or give a false name.
But you can't, if you give them a false name, they can prosecute you for that. That's kind of like identity theft, sort of, but, they can lie to us and we can lie to them. But the federal government, if you get called in by the feds and you give a false statement,
I see it every day on C-SPAN.
where they're lying to us, yeah.
Lying to whatever committee they're
Yeah,
testifying to. They lie all the time. Nothing happens.
unless me or you do it,
Right.
and then we're gonna get arrested and prosecuted.
The only
So
one
we-
getting prosecuted.
Huh?
The only person getting prosecuted.
I know. I
Well,
know, but how do you know who someone is unless they say, I believe this way or that way?
my leg's about to give out. I got very bad legs and feet.
Sit down.
Well, I can sit
You've been
down.
standing for 41 minutes.
Yeah, but I don't want to hold up any more of her time. I mean, I'm sure she's busy.
Yeah, I am very busy. I've got to get ready for that move into that new building, but
Yeah, that's the whole reason we came here today. We thought it was open.
it's not. But I'll be glad to let you see it whenever it opens.
Oh, we plan on coming to take a look at it. I mean, I want to see that beautiful building.
Yeah.
I want to see my tax dollars.
Did you pay for it?
Partially.
How?
Sales tax.
Yeah.
Good answer,
And you
right?
don't live here, which is why the capital penny is a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Great idea.
I buy a lot of gas in Spartanburg.
I feel like gas is locked off. There's some things we're not allowed to charge the penny on.
Well, I buy a lot of food here.
Food's also locked off.
Yeah. Food, gas,
Mhm.
convenience store.
If you buy a T-shirt or
Yeah.
mug, or
Clothing.
whatnot, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Because I shop at the outlets a lot.
he makes me pay for it.
Yeah. I mean,
Hey,
the,
Pops.
the outlet on 85 is in Gaffney. We can't collect there either.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. A municipality of Spartanburg.
So we're in the Spartanburg County jurisdiction. That's where you can collect it. But it can't be collected on groceries and gas, and I think there's a list that we're not allowed to collect it on, but even lopping all that out, we have paid for that new building with 30% at least being paid for by people who don't live here.
Okay, let me ask you a question. How are we going to shrink this government?
It depends on what you want to have from your government. Do you expect schools?
Well, do you agree that it's way too big right now?
The government?
Hmm?
I do agree with that.
Yeah. How can we chop it off?
Well, you have to decide what do you expect your government to give you. That's what you have to decide. Because you got to pay for whatever it is that you want the government to provide.
Right. But it seems like, just like, you know, if we had a whole list of stuff and we presented it, they ain't gonna do nothing.
Well, you're asking people to vote to cut their jobs. Right, so everybody that works for the IRS has a paycheck. And we
Right.
know there's way too many IRS agents, but which one do we cut?
All of
All
it.
of them.
I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you, but that's a bunch of people out of work, and those people vote.
So the answer is just
Let 'em
keep
keep their
keep
job.
getting bigger and bigger
No,
to
I'm not
employ
saying
people.
that. I'm saying you gotta make the hard choices, and there's gonna be a lot of pain on the adjustments.
They
Mhm.
downsize city and state government all the time and have no remorse. I don't feel any remorse for a couple people losing their job up that way.
We're talking thousands,
It'll be all right.
but it's not your job. It's not your job that's getting cut, so those people vote, and usually all those people live in very close districts.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so in Spartanburg County, everybody that works here lives in our jurisdiction, right? So if all of these people start complaining about losing their jobs, it's gonna impact how that person who represents that
Represents that
district
district.
votes.
Okay.
Right?
I didn't know we were gonna have a. This is great. I got another question. As far as
Okay.
law enforcement.
Okay,
Okay, law enforcement, say they do an egregious act, right? And then they're found guilty, blah, blah, blah.
How you doing?
You need the clerk, bro?
You just need to find out a piece of information.
Anyway,
How you doing?
they get fired,
They were kind enough to reschedule.
but
this
yet they go to the
recently.
next county
I
and
just
get
need to know
hired.
When this status hearing for this case
it
is
wouldn't happen here.
on the.
What?
What did she say?
That's what
It
I was
wouldn't
just.
happen here. If the
I can
act-
prove that right now that you have someone working at Spartanburg County Sheriff's Department from, what was it, Cherokee or is it Union?
Who are you talking about?
Did an egregious
what's his
act
name,
that they
though?
got arrested and convicted for.
The one with Randy.
Oh, Yeah, she was a city cop and then went to the county
Which, okay, so
for violation of rights, false arrest.
she was arrested and convicted of it.
Well, they fired her.
She wasn't arrested. No.
No, she wasn't arrested, but she was fired and then went to the county.
Well, that's different than being arrested
They
and
wouldn't
convicted.
dare arrest her. She's a police officer.
That's happened, I have seen it happen.
In this county?
Yes, and in Richland County,
Well, my whole question was, what do you think? Is there anything that can be done about gypsy cops? That's what we call them, gypsy cops, because they get in trouble at one agency and then they just go to another one.
well, I
And
don't
do it
know the
again.
situation with that
And do it
particular
again.
police officer, but I will tell you that Sheriff Chuck Wright has a very strong policy about who he will and will not hire, and if she got in trouble, he would check on it and see exactly what happened with that. He's not gonna hire somebody that's not gonna give you good service. So,
Well,
whatever the other agencies are doing, I have no idea. I know Leon Lott in Richland County, he has great officers there.
I'm talking about throughout the United States. If you were in
Said
a,
that is an elected official. So what we do about that is get rid of those sheriffs who are elected at the ballot box. If those bad sheriffs are out there, that.
no, I'm not just talking about the sheriff. I'm talking about
Yes,
police. Any agency. They should not be allowed
Awesome.
to go if they're
Thank
found.
you so much. Appreciate that.
We-
Thank you. Bye.
There was a police officer fired in Anderson because of us, because she violated our rights. They admitted, yes, she violated your rights. They fired her.
Okay,
She went from there to
Abbeville.
Abbeville. She did not even disclose to Abbeville that she had pending litigation
and
in
that is-
Anderson.
That's Abbeville's issue. Who hired her in Abbeville?
I guess the sheriff.
the chief.
Or I mean the chief.
So
Let me-
your recourse, however.
Let me finish.
Okay,
Abbeville knew a council member. She found out about it. They fired her.
okay,
Then she went from there to Oconee County,
okay,
and they put her as a school resource officer.
okay.
I mean,
So I believe,
and you didn't you FOIA her stuff from there? She didn't disclose to them either.
disclosing and knowing are two different things. So if she's saying she's never worked at another law enforcement agency, how is she getting on with these law enforcement agencies with
No, she's not just saying that she never worked there.
That's what she said with Abbeville. When she got hired at Abbeville, she said that she came from the 911 dispatch center straight to Abbeville to the police department.
Oh, so
With
she
no
lied
background
altogether.
Experience, yeah.
But anyway,
That's the problem with her lying. It's not
well,
really
see, that's
a
what I'm
problem.
saying. I mean, this stuff happens all the time.
It happens everywhere in every type of career.
Well, that was my question. How do we make it stop? Because bad officer right there. But the law enforcement agencies either don't care enough and they just hire them anyway.
Well, it's who are you electing that allows that to happen? So the more local your control is, the bigger your vote counts, right? So the county council, the city council, those people may have 800 to 2,000 votes, right? That your vote is much bigger in those counties. So that's your answer. But there's really no way to say, put a scarlet A on her forehead so we can identify her. I don't know of any way to do that. In the United States of America,
Which is
I
a
have
sad
no idea
thing.
how do we label people as
See,
bad people.
that's my whole thing is we need good officers.
We've got tons of good officers.
Well, I know, and there's tons of bad
Giving you
ones.
one bad apple that is totally ruined the whole batch for you. But in my view and in my opinion, officers are almost always good-hearted and good-meaning people. And there are situations that they get into where they make a bad decision once or twice, and that ruins their career almost always. I had one really good officer in Richland County who made a stupid mistake.
You from Columbia?
No, I practiced there. But Leon Lott fired him and prosecuted him for that one little bad mistake that will follow him the rest of his life. Now, if you've got a good sheriff, that's what'll happen. And it'll be on his record when they run his NCIC report that he's been convicted of this petty larceny for stealing a piece of tape. Literally, that's what he was prosecuted for. But it's
Huh?
I'm not kidding.
Like a piece of Scotch tape?
Yeah, yeah.
Get out of
Because he was
town.
arresting a defendant, took a piece of tape out of that person's garage and put their driver's license in his car so he could see it. Well, he couldn't prosecute the officer for the stupid thing he said that was racial and highly inappropriate, but he could prosecute
For
him
the
for
theft of
stealing a
that
piece
tape.
of tape.
Because that was his property.
Oh, so
Because
he's,
that was the
the
defendant's
officer stole a piece of whoever he was arresting,
Piece of tape,
piece of tape.
yes.
Now see, that's freaking insane.
But the
But it's
officer,
because the officer made a racial comment. He couldn't
Yeah.
prosecute him for the comment he made, which was inappropriate. So the way that he got his recourse was by pressing charges for the theft of the tape.
right, because the racial comment is an underlying issue that he could not put on an arrest record or anywhere else, but he could put that piece of tape on his record, and every police department that hires him is gonna run that police report and see he's been arrested and convicted. That's what Leon Lott did because he's a good sheriff. Sheriff Chuck Wright does the same thing here. If you touch your wife, you're out. If he can prosecute you for it, he will, because that will keep you from owning a weapon in the United States of America.
Oh, well, he needs to go to Greenville. They need Chuck Wright to go to Greenville. We'll have be a whole new sheriff's department in Greenville.
But that's the point, is that you cannot always prosecute.
I mean, that's
for
that's
things-
just ridiculous.
But it accomplished a goal to get rid of an officer who may have a racial issue that might flare up later. Even though it was tiny here,
It was on a bigger scale.
it could be on a huge scale. And we don't want that officer who might have a racial bias, no matter which way it is.
Oh, so the officer was making the racial slur.
Yes.
Ah, okay.
And so the guy who he was arresting couldn't press charges for him making the racial comment, but he could press
Ah,
charges
okay.
for
I thought. Okay, I misunderstood.
So that's how
okay.
he got rid of him from working on the force.
I got you. I
Right,
got you.
And he put on his record.
I thought you were saying the officer got, you know,
Right. So the guy was being arrested for something legitimate that he should never have been doing, and I forget what it was, but he had a legitimate reason to be there. But the comment that he made while he was there
sounds like Stan Whitten, don't it?
Mm-hmm.
was inappropriate enough that Leon Lott fired him and prosecuted him for the most insignificant crime, but he found one that he could put on a record and prevent other law enforcement agencies from hiring him, which that will prevent him from going from department to department to department. Now, he might make it on another department who doesn't check that. But you can't get into the academy here. If you've got you can't get into the academy without them running your records, your fingerprints, all of that. So we've got ways to prevent it, but do you do the work to make it preventable, right? Do you do the work to prevent people who shouldn't operate under the color of authority? Do you do that work to prevent it? I know my sheriff does. I know Sheriff Leon Lott does. Chuck Wright's a Republican, Leon Lott's a Democrat. It doesn't matter whether they're an R or a D, as long as they're doing that job the right way, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not all departments do that. They would much rather not make the paper and
Right,
just sweep it
right.
under the rug and send them on their way.
Mhm.
Well, that's not what Leon Lott does. It's not what Chuck Wright does. If they've got to face,
Well, that's good to hear.
yeah, if they've got to face the media on they hired somebody that turned out to be a rotten apple, they're going to face it and say we did something about it, right? So that's how we fix it. I don't know.
Well, there again, like I say, just my personal opinion,
Mhm.
there shouldn't be police. It's just the sheriff. The sheriff should do all law enforcement.
I mean, I'm not going to argue one way or against that, but because I believe the more control you have over who runs the government, the better our lives will be. I fully believe that.
Mm-hmm.
And the higher up an official is, the less your vote counts. So, if you can vote for your local chief, you've got less people to vote against you to change that.
Yeah, but we don't get to vote for chiefs.
You can vote for mayor and county council. I mean,
Yeah,
city
but
council.
sweetheart, a lot of them people are not up and up either.
Well, but why are they in their seats? Because people elect
Because
them to be
people,
there.
let me give you an example. Doing this right here
Yeah,
in City Hall of Easley got me trespassed.
uh-huh. We've trespassed people from here for being violent and threatening.
Well, I can see that,
Mhm.
but I was none of that.
Okay. I mean,
All I
there,
did-
so I don't know what happened.
Well, you can go and watch it.
Submitting a FOIA request while recording.
Okay,
Trespass from all city property.
interesting.
Mhm.
So I'll tell you, my judge is here. We tried to trespass a young man who was, I would call it aggravating, or aggravated panhandling. He was being very forceful.
Aggressive?
Very
Well,
aggressive.
aggressive panhandling is against the law.
Right, so.
Panhandling is not
Right,
against
but
the
he
law.
was being very aggressive. We've never run anybody off for being poor. We've only run somebody off for being very threatening and being
Right.
aggressive.
I can understand the aggressive
But
part,
we
yeah.
tried to do that, and one of our circuit court judges said that's highly illegal, and we are never gonna trespass somebody for doing that on county property because it is a public space. So we
Well-
can arrest them and prosecute them for the violation of the law, but to trespass them is not something that he would allow us to do. Because we believe in what you believe in, that this is
Well,
public space.
if you're breaking the law
Then you
in a
can be-
park,
then you can be arrested.
then you can
for
be
that.
arrested. This is the same thing.
Right. But
I
that's the
mean,
point. We can
but
arrest him.
aggressive panhandling is against the law, but panhandling's not.
Right, so we can arrest him for the aggressive panhandling, but our circuit court judge would not allow us to
To trespass.
trespass him from the property.
Yeah.
That's a different story. So, but we have had people trespassed for being super threatening to specific officials who work in this building. And that would be,
Well,
that's something that we can do.
Their excuse in Easley was that me just holding this camera was threatening.
It can feel threatening sometimes. I love it. I love being filmed.
But is it threatening by the legal definition?
What is the legal definition of threatening?
I've never seen one.
Yeah, so it's kinda like pornography.
It's perception.
You know when you see it.
Well, that should be,
But, so.
that's another part that's ruining the
Well,
world.
Okay, so there's perception based on, common law for many years. If you are, armed robbery, there's an armed robbery statute that says if you have
I'm sorry, I have to sit. My legs are about to go.
the law says if you have or the victim believes you have a deadly weapon. So you can be carrying a plastic pistol that could never hurt anybody, but you can still be arrested for armed robbery.
Right.
So,
But
It's
if
a
you can,
perception
but if you
of
can
it.
obviously see that it's a phone, I don't see how you can consider that threatening at all.
how do you know it was obvious?
Like people always say, it's right in my face. So if it's
Yeah.
in your face,
Oh, you're talking about when he was filming?
both of us.
Yeah.
So like we're in a space this big and we're filming. I'm standing at the counter filling out a form.
But they didn't say it was a gun.
No, they just said that we were threatening, and
Yeah.
according to the police department, that was enough to trespass us from all city property. All city owned, leased.
And what it was
operated
is
our property.
we're trying to pull records, okay? And they're dirty over there, and they didn't want us to get them records,
Yeah.
and this is what happened. They passed the ordinance saying it's against the law to film in any city building.
Or to record their officers in the field.
That's Mr. Butch Walmack over there.
Have you decided to sue and see if that'll hold up in court?
Yeah, so I'm filing for the unconstitutional ordinance, and he's filed for a violation of FOIA law.
Okay. We'll see how that hashes out.
Well,
The good
hopefully,
news is
hopefully
that
next
we'll-
week,
we'll have a new mayor next week. So.
next week on the 21st, hopefully Butch won't be mayor anymore.
Okay.
And hopefully the new mayor will rescind all that stuff.
Does the new mayor, do you know him and he agrees with that?
It's she.
Okay, does she
Yeah, so
agree?
she supports the Constitution, and so she's She's willing
She
to
says that their
change.
government will be open to the public.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking. This is the same guy. We've been trying to pull records. What 3 years now? 4 years? And he's just now started being transparent
Sweetheart.
because of the election.
If you go on my channel and you punch in easily,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see that the mayor was driving a police car that was issued to the police department.
Wow.
Brand new Tahoe, decked out. It had more stuff on it than the
sheriff's
sheriff.
department.
And the sheriff is the one that outfitted it. So the sheriffs were pissed that he had more stuff than they had.
And the sheriff's department wouldn't even back him up on calls in the city.
He don't have it no more because SLED took it from him because he got caught running them blue lights to go through a red light and then turned them off when he got to the street that he lives on.
They're not blue. He said they're purple.
Yeah,
So they're not blue, they're purple.
He said that they're purple.
I asked him on that trip.
Are they different colors?
They're blue.
They're blue.
Blue and
they
white.
were blue.
Well,
So
he doesn't have it anymore.
supposedly he don't have it no more now.
Wow. No, see, I
But
don't believe in any
and
of
then
that.
Stan Whitten was the chief of police, which he ain't there no more. You know bad.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, he was fired.
I know
Because-
Franklin had an issue with their department.
He was a drunken fool at the lake, and he made a bunch of racial slurs to a
Hispanic guy.
Hispanic guy, and wailed on him. And then when he hit him or whatever, he falls down and said that that guy hit him. But there was all kind of witnesses around there, and everybody said that Stan was a drunken mess, and he was in the driver's seat, and yet,
He was never charged with DUI. Never even did a field sobriety test. Or
you see, that's another thing we see all the time, cops breaking the law, and they're not treated the same way as the average citizen is.
I don't
It's
believe
that special D.
You don't
It's
believe that?
It's that discretion.
Yeah, see, I don't believe that should ever happen. When I get pulled over, I am hoping that the officer does not recognize me, because I don't want them to say, "Oh, I'm sorry for stopping you." I want them to do their job, whether I get a ticket,
No, we agree.
whatever. And I believe I'm just the same as everybody
The
else.
law
We
should be the
not
same
be
for
different.
everybody.
Yes.
Even if you
absolutely.
have a badge.
Absolutely.
But we see, I'm running a series of stories right now on cops getting arrested for DUI. Okay?
That should not
And they're
be-
not treated the same as if we got pulled over for a DUI.
Well, I
They get
promise you,
handcuffed in the
if that
front.
happens in Spartanburg, definitely they will be treated probably worse than the citizens, because they know better. They know better than to get behind that wheel while they're drinking.
They get handcuffed in the front, or they don't get handcuffed at all. But yeah, I commend the officers for getting them off the road. But yet,
You're not prosecuting them like
I
you
mean,
would in
I'm doing a
other
story
cases.
now on a cop that got 2 within 4 months, and he's still employed.
Well, I guarantee you that's not Spartanburg, right?
I got one too. A federal agent got 2 within so many. I think it's even lesser than 4 months. It's crazy, man.
It is crazy. I don't believe that should happen.
Selective law enforcement.
Well, I don't believe in that. I think everybody should face the same penalties, whether you're Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump,
Right.
right?
Or
Everybody should face the same
Biden,
penalties,
the
or
Biden
Joe
crime
Biden,
family.
the whole Biden family, whoever you are, the penalties should be the same for everyone.
You a Nikki Haley person, huh?
No. No, I'll tell you why. She came to one of our staunch, hardcore Republican meetings before she was governor, and she said she wants to take our school dollars and redistribute it to the lower part of the state. That's before redistributing became a thing. And I like to think, well, do you know you're in a hardcore Republican meeting? Like, we are the people who run these meetings, and you're telling us you want to redistribute the money that we've collected to educate our children and take it to the lower part of the state when they didn't take the time to build a base that they can tax to educate their children? No. I didn't vote for her for governor. I'm not gonna vote for her for president. Because I don't
I
believe
didn't
in
like her
that.
after one of her first, I think it was first 30 acts that she signed was the Expungement Act. She removed it. So, yeah.
Well, I believe.
Removed it?
Yeah. So, like, before she was governor, when Stanford was in office, so there was like, I think it was 62 charges that were expungible. And when she took office, I think it's now like 7 or 8 things that you can get expunged off of your record. She completely changed it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Now, a lot of
I didn't
people
realize
don't know
there was a
about
huge
it,
change
but
to
yeah.
that. So we don't deal with the expungements other than we get an order that says these are to be expunged, and we remove them, shred them, we keep the order that says it's been expunged in
Mhm.
a locked cabinet. So if you were charged with something in Crawford County and had it expunged, you couldn't come up here and get a copy of anything that's associated with your case. We can't even tell you that you were ever charged, right?
Hey, you might want to tell Greenville that's supposed to be in a lock cabinet.
It is, ours is, we got that tall cabinet back there,
Mm-hmm.
it's got a padlock on it.
Well, Greenville's isn't because I was just in it.
I mean, we can talk, there's a new clerk in Greenville County, so that may be the issue, so. But yes, it's supposed to be on a locked cabinet. So it's just the point of an expungement.
You
is
brought up the
nobody knows you've
schools.
been
I mean, that's
charged.
another problem. I mean, you, in my opinion,
The schools.
even though I think this whole,
Schools,
I think everything started going south as soon as they took God out of schools and
I
stuff like
agree.
that.
Why'd you look at me like that when you said it?
I'm just saying.
I agree, I think we need to train up children to respect authority, to respect our country, to respect the Constitution.
Yeah, but see, they don't even teach civics anymore.
But because they're too busy teaching all the woke stuff. They're too
Right.
busy teaching the feelings and the social issues that should not come
Are
up
you a
in
man or a
elementary.
woman today?
And that's not something that elementary students need to focus on. They've got to learn how to read and how to add and how to understand sentences and paragraphs and math and to do the basics of what it means to function in our society. They also need to understand the true nature of this country.
Mhm.
There's some bad things that happen in this country, but this is a great country to live in.
Oh,
This is
ex-
a wonderful place to be.
Yeah, well, I agree.
And the more we turn it over to the woke liberals to crush our First Amendment rights and our Second Amendment rights, it's gonna be more difficult to live here. We're seeing that. We're seeing that.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. It's going to keep going, and if it keeps going in the direction it's going,
Mhm.
there's going to be a revolt. I
hope
believe.
not. I hope
believe.
not, because my children are fighting.
Well, that's why they want to try to take our gun. That's why they want to try to take our guns now,
Well, yeah.
because they know it would happen.
I know. You know, they did that in Australia. They recently,
Right.
like in the last 10 years, took away gun rights. The murder rate increased 300%. Because all the bad guys still had their guns, and the good people did not have
An
guns.
armed society is a safe society, and I'm tired of hearing gun violence.
Yes.
My gun is an inanimate object.
People
It's not
violence.
violent. It's the people that are
It is
violent.
the person that has but I want you to know there's a lot of places in Africa that are very well armed, and it is very dangerous to live there. So keep in mind, who owns a gun is very important, which is why we need to know who's been charged with violent crimes, who's carrying around weapons and have been
I
charged
got
with
you,
violent
but
crimes.
if a criminal can get them now, they're still going to get them.
I agree. But the
And
guy
then
in
we're
there
going to be,
never have had a
and
weapon,
then
right?
the law-abiding gun owners are the ones that are going to be in trouble. The people that abide by the law are going to be in trouble because they can't defend
I think that
themselves.
the law-abiding citizens should always have the right to carry a weapon. I do agree with that. As long as there's not a mental issue. The guy in Maine had a mental issue that he was hearing voices and he threatened to shoot places up.
And they knew about
They
it.
knew about it. They didn't do anything about it. But we do have to be smart about how we handle weapons, because people do
Oh, I know.
bad things with weapons.
Well, I don't know what's going on now. I went in to buy a weapon. It's getting close to a month now.
Mm-hmm.
I've never had this happen before. Usually it's like I go in and buy it, boom, I walk out with it.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a month. My background check ain't come back yet.
Well, it may have have someone new being trespassed on the city property. Just an idea.
That's crazy.
I mean, I'm not saying it's right, but it might be what's going on. Because it'll show up on your NCIC report.
Yeah, but it is trespassed illegally.
And that, you know, that's not something that I can say, and I can't speak to what happened there, but what I can say is that from that report, it's gonna show you're not allowed to be at that place.
Right, to preliminary hearing form.
So now they're taking my Second Amendment away.
Well, I don't know the difference.
You see what I'm
Already
saying?
stripped you of your first.
Yeah. No, well.
You just gotta be careful who you
Ooh,
load into.
and they violated your fourth. Because you never gave them an ID. They sent your trespass notice in the mail.
Yeah.
How did that violate the fourth?
You got, what is that, search and seizure, right? Isn't that the fourth? Yeah.
It is the fourth, but I'm just curious as to how finding your address through the DMV would be that.
Because he never broke the law. There was no reason for the trespass.
State owns DMV information. There's no Fourth Amendment violation there.
No, I'm gonna say so.
Absolutely not. So you can decide to.
I'm gonna say
not-
illegally gained.
No.
Yeah, wrongfully gained.
No.
You wait until I file my lawsuit to get my
You
name
can
off
say it
there.
that way, but there's no judge in the world
No.
that's gonna say the state does not have the right to look at its own information.
Oh, okay.
Thank you. The state has the right to look at any information that you give.
No, I know how they got it. They got my tag. That's how they did it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No, that's definitely public information. I won't argue at all.
Yeah, DMV information is public information. We
Right.
can't call DMV and find out what your home address is, cause I'm a regular person. Like I couldn't, even as a clerk of court, I couldn't call.
Oh, no, that's
Yeah,
what the
that-
clerk of court in 96 did.
And how come sometimes we're out filming and the cops come up and say, man, you can't be filming them license plates?
I don't know.
You can't film inside that police car.
Yeah.
That's private property.
They get mad when we film their cats. Plain view doctrine.
But I can't argue with that, right? So I don't know what the situation is. I mean, you're telling me little bits of it, your side, and if there's something bigger on the other side, they may have a legitimate reason.
No, like
not
if
to.
they're out on a call, we're in the area, you know, we might go check it out. The officer's parked on a public street. He left his cat open. So I recorded the cat and inside the car. And he'll tell me that it's illegal to record his cat. Or the inside of his car, because it's a private car. But the car belongs to the city or the county. I don't see how it's private.
I don't see how that is.
And I definitely don't, if the cat is open and my eyes can see it, so can my camera. So
And the police are in the same situation. Just because they're wearing a badge does not mean they can't do things a normal person would be able to do. So if they can overhear your conversation, that's not a violation of your First Amendment, your Fourth Amendment. That's just where they are and they're,
Yeah.
you know, if you're saying, hey, I'll sell you this kilo of cocaine for
No, we
for
agree.
your car, they can hear
The
that.
point was, you know, when they pull you over and they can run that flashlight in your car, you know, plain view,
Yep.
we can do it to them.
I mean, I'm not gonna argue that with you because I don't wanna tell you something that gets you in trouble later. Right, so plain view doctrine goes to the violation of a Fourth Amendment right that would normally exist, but because he could see it through your windshield, so for instance, if your car was under some sort of cover, and they lifted the cover to see in it, that's a violation, right?
because
If-
there was privacy created.
Because you have an expectation of privacy under there.
Right.
But if you're driving down the road and anybody could walk by and see what's in your car, so
Mhm.
could a police officer, right? And if a
Well,
police
I
officer
agree.
sees it, but I don't know that, so the plain view doctrine speaks to a very specific constitutional right that the police cannot violate. As far as applying to you, you're not a government actor, so that would not apply to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Like
but
the government-
anything,
But the Supreme Court has ruled that once you can see
anything
with
I
your
can
eyes,
see
you can
from
record.
public, I can record.
And that's totally different than the plain view doctrine that we're talking about. That's what I'm saying, I'm not gonna argue your side of it, because plain view
I just
doctrine.
always articulate that whatever my eyes can see, so can my camera. My camera's an extension of my eyes. If I'm in public and I can see it, then so can my camera. And there's no privacy violation.
And there again, like in, you know, like right now, you could say, "Oh, we got private information in here." Like that right there is a public record.
It is.
I could film that.
Yep.
But some people lose their mind, you know, if I was to do that.
They snatch it out of the window and call the cops.
And
And that is an assault. And probably some sort of theft.
there, you made me lose my thought now.
Sorry. Right, so yeah, we.
Oh, you were saying the onus is on them to protect the private
Well,
information.
yeah. And the thing is that if I did grab private information, it's what I do with it. It's not against the law for me to film it. It's what I do with it. If I publish it,
Well,
then could get in trouble.
so in our world, it is illegal for us to make it available to you if there's a law preventing us from showing it to you. And we can be charged and convicted of that crime. And that way, there's a statute right there that we have to have hanging. It's on one of these things, and it says, under this code, we cannot take filings of this.
Oh yeah, 32-330.
Right, so that's basically like, financial information, it's accounts and all like that.
Yeah,
And there's-
socials and stuff like that.
Right, exactly. And then there's a statute that tells us we cannot share information on a confidential file, which would include anything like abuse and neglect. Juvenile cases are sealed completely, adoptions are sealed completely, all victim information is
Yeah.
private.
But bottom line is we don't come into government places to get specifically personal information. That's just, I'm not interested in that.
Yeah,
Just not.
well, and there are lots of things that you could get here, but you have to say, I'm looking for this, and we have to bring out the file, and that could give you personal information, as long as it doesn't violate that statute right there, our hands are tied as to not providing it,
Right.
right, so.
That's what I mean. The onus is on y'all to protect it.
But to be honest, the onus is on the attorneys filing it here.
To make sure the information's not there to begin with.
Right, to make.
Per
sure
the
that-
statute.
Right, per the statute.
Well, I'll tell you, sometimes we go to jails, sheriff jails, whatever, and we'll do a records request. We went to, where was that we went?
Colleton County.
Collison,
That was during the Murdaugh trial.
They gave him
I did a FOIA
names,
request for
addresses,
Yeah.
social security numbers.
birth dates. I got the arrest records for the last 14 days, and they gave me names, birth dates, socials, home addresses, how long they've been in the detention center, how much money's on their canteen.
We got
account.
back out to the car and we said, damn.
I said no.
We walked
I
right
took it
back in there. We walked
No.
back in there and said, man, you can't do this.
And then they decided they were going to
Tell me
take.
if that ever happens to you.
You know what they did?
They took a pen and
They
scribbled
took
it.
a Sharpie and marked it out, and then you could still see it. And
when
we,
I told
and we
them, I
still
said,
didn't accept it.
I
We
told
said
them, I said,
no.
I can't accept this because I can still see this information. And the lady says, well, I can't facilitate your request then.
I don't know that person, and I'm sorry that happened, but please let me know if anybody gives you any kind of information like that. We're not allowed to give birth dates, home addresses, driver's license
That-
numbers.
I
The
know.
same thing happened in Greenwood as well. I did a records request, a personnel file on one of their deputies, and the clerk of court for magistrate court, and it had like the names of her children, her husband, her health insurance information.
Oh my God.
I was like, not only did you break the law, but you violated HIPAA as well. Well, the officer's drug test results were in there. Yeah. And they sent it to me by email. It was through a Google file. So I'm like, nah, I can't even get rid of it. But I emailed her back and I told her, I said, hey, this file you sent me contains it. And she was like, okay, well, I'll get it fixed. She sends it back and
Y'all are scary.
it's 2 attachments and then it's the same thing in it.
Y'all just scare people to death. It's
So,
a hack.
it's just a test, honey. It's a
Look
test.
on me.
Yeah, well, no, I want to make sure you get anything that is public record that you're asking for, but we cannot provide you with stuff that's, protected under the law.
Yeah, we know that.
And I would love to have all of the family court records protected under law. You know, they're passing they've already passed, law enforcement and judge protection. to prevent us from giving out any personal information on a judge or a law enforcement officer, or a former law enforcement officer, so that their home addresses and cell phone numbers and such does not make it out. You know how people were putting that on Facebook or Twitter or whatnot,
Yeah.
and people were coming in droves to their homes.
Well, see, I would never do that.
And not that you would, but there is a law that's floating around out there that we are going to have to uphold. It's gonna be very difficult for us to do it.
Right.
But the point of it is protecting law enforcement and judges from unnecessary harassment, right? You know, they are public officials and they do hold public positions and they are accountable to the public, but that only goes so far. And going to their home and, you know, harassing them on their cell phone is a bit much. So they're trying to protect that.
I just call them on their department phone.
What now?
I just call their department phone.
Yeah, and that's, mine is, literally all that information is under my face on the website. My email address, and I've got all that. My cell phone is on the card that I
Well,
gave
this
you.
is this as far as you plan on going as clerk, or you wanting to run
Yeah,
for
I love
something?
this job, and I don't have any plans to go any further.
No, you don't want a higher office.
So this job does not have, term limits,
Okay.
right? So, and I love it. I'm an attorney. This is my world.
What counties that has like, the clerk is like 70 years old?
There's a lot of older clerks and several have just retired.
Yeah, I can't remember where I went, but there was a clerk, she was like 70 years old. She said she's been clerk for like 35 years.
Yeah.
I was like, lady, aren't you tired of looking at paperwork?
But it's a job where you can, first of all, I get a steady
Wow.
paycheck and I get.
I don't know how I'm gonna cut this down.
You
I know.
Over 2 hours,
You
man.
should have just went live.
No, don't put this on live. I need for you to edit and take all my mistakes. But here's the thing, but I get a steady paycheck, insurance, and retirement with this position, and I also get to help people every day. And
But I want to highlight her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you're just gonna have to say, hey, long video. And
Yeah, ain't nobody gonna watch no over 2 hours. It's,
I'm over 2
you're
hours
not gonna
too,
watch
so.
me for 2 hours? I'm like the bomb. What are you talking about?
I agree with
You're
you.
gonna be like,
No,
mesmerized.
sir.
I'm
Circuit
serious.
court judge.
You are the best clerk of court we've ever ran into so far.
Listen, there's so
I'm
many
serious.
clerks in the state, and so Charles Reel, we call him Sonny in Edgefield. He teaches a class on this in our clerk of court conferences. He's very impressive. You may want to go down and.
Isn't Edgefield where the
Edgefield?
federal prison?
Yeah,
Isn't it?
yeah.
We've been there.
So his office, so he was former law enforcement, and he has done a lot of research on this type of thing, filming in public, and how do we react to it, and the laws around it. So we have all been trained on this. Unfortunately, not every staff member has been trained. So if you,
I know that's what the unfortunate.
That's the problem.
Treat us just like you would treat somebody that doesn't have a camera.
just a
That's
regular
it.
person, right? So it makes people nervous, and you see that just even when they're not government officials, they're just walking down the street. You're filming everything. It just it feels weird, right? I mean, I love it, but not everybody.
Why
does.
is it not weird at Disney World?
I think if it's
Because it's Disney World.
I think if it's conveyed to everyone that, hey, these people, them recording isn't wrong to begin with, that lessens, the uncomfortable factor. If it's just the slightest bit, they say, I can still continue to do my job, even though I feel like, I don't want to be on camera, I'll still do my job. But there's a lot of places you go to and people are just like, oh, you can't record me. I'm going to sue you for recording my face.
Yeah.
Or either they'll just walk away and never come back. And so, I don't know, I just think if you were to just, if everyone's just conveyed the simple message that, hey, they have a right to record, you're in public, you work for the county, and, that just goes a little bit farther than them just
Well, it's
freaking
just
out.
like other professions.
I mean, we
there's-
have lawyers freak out.
There's
so-
there's bad people that do what we do.
Yeah.
They go in, they start trouble,
And they are trying to be aggressive.
trying to curse people out, whatever. We're not like that, and yeah, them people need to go. They're a bad apple too, in my opinion. That doesn't help anybody.
It doesn't help what you're trying to accomplish, and I appreciate what you're trying to accomplish. I don't know if you know Roger Nutt from this area, but he was on our county council, and he would put his phone up and live stream every county council meeting. And the other county council members really were uncomfortable with him doing that, and a lot of people who work for the county, they were uncomfortable with him doing that.
I'm sorry, you said that was a council member doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
has every right to do it.
Well, his point was, not everybody in my district can come every night.
Mhm.
So we're gonna put it on so they can log in wherever they are and see it, and it'll be there for them to look at later. Well, he kinda started a trend, so you know Spartanburg County Council meetings are now all streamed.
Online.
And you can access the videos online to see who
Mhm.
said what, how they said it, what was presented, what was talked about.
Well, I think every municipality, whatever, any public meeting like that should be broadcast
Well,
for the
I
people.
think in the FOIA, the minutes have to be taken, but if you do a digital copy of it, that satisfies it. So it's probably more efficient to do a video than it is to have somebody type
Well,
up the
I agree. Camera
Yeah,
don't
so
lie.
the statute has two sections when it comes to the minutes. So one part is it's readily available. So that's like a verbal request. And then so it's supposed to be provided to you within like 5 minutes. And then the second part is if it's electronic, then they don't have to accommodate the request at all. They just refer you to the site. Hey, that's one of my go-tos. I like doing the minutes because I like to see if people have them readily available.
Well, Spartanburg County, you can go to the Spartanburg County Clerk of Court, not Clerk of Court, but Council website, and they're all up there. You can see the archived videos. So it's readily available. You don't even have to ask for it. You can just pull it up and see.
I got it right.
So there's a lot of people in Spartanburg County who believe just like you, that government should be transparent, that we work for you, there's nothing that we have that we should hide. As a matter of fact, when I was a prosecutor, my standard was, I don't have anything that the defense can't see. My notes are handwritten in the back. I would make a summary for the front. If the defense attorney was claiming that I had discovery that I had not turned over, I'm handing him the whole file, so he can see everything. And he didn't even have to ask for it. If he came in my office, look at the file anytime you want to, because under the law, the defense has a right to anything we have, even if it's exculpatory, especially if it's exculpatory. So why is there anything I need to hide? If it's not worth anything, I don't care that he sees it, and if it's exculpatory, he's gotta see it. Right? So there should never be anything that we're hiding from you all, unless it is personal private information about people that's protected under the law. Right? There's nothing that I have that I care that anybody sees, I'm sure people out there.
Do you eat lunch? Do you eat lunch?
I don't eat lunch. I actually got my coffee back there that's got a little protein shake powder in it.
It's a little cold now.
Probably, I drink cold coffee. Yeah, but I don't normally eat lunch.
Yeah, I just didn't want to keep you from your lunch.
I don't usually eat. As a matter of fact, usually lunchtime is when I come out here going, it's time for me to do something with my staff. Where's everybody going? Where is so-and-so? And I have to get it. So,
Yeah.
well, I could stand here and talk to y'all, but
Probably the clerk.
it's probably a clerk.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, my clerk in my county is Christy Copeland.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a good person. Yeah. I don't know anything about how she does her job, but.
We used to bump heads a lot.
Mhm.
And then we sat down and had a conversation one day. And we're all eye to eye now. So.
Good. That is fantastic.
And see, that's all it takes sometimes. Just
Yeah.
people be willing to have a conversation. But most people, well, I don't want to say most people, a lot of people
Yeah.
are not willing to do that.
Right. I think a lot of people see what you do as antagonistic and intending on getting a gotcha, and I try to live my life to not be got. If you've got a gotcha on me, I'd really love to see it. Because I don't think
that's like what I tell people. If you got, it's because you allowed yourself to get got.
Right.
So.
Yeah, they call us baiters and stuff like
if
that.
If you don't know, say you don't know. I'll find out. It's just that simple.
And I mean, just like that statute code that I brought up is on the website for the State House.
Mhm.
It's public record. Everybody can see it. Hey, sorry.
I got another one. You want that
You
one?
dropped it.
I know. She gave me two.
Yeah, I got
This
plenty.
is 2.
Oh, well, then give me
You
one.
dropped yours.
I keep a bunch. Do you want some?
I got one.
Okay. So I keep them up here so anybody can have them. It's got my work cell phone on it.
It's gonna be a thumbnail of my video.
Fantastic.
No, I'm lying.
All right.
Your face is gonna be my thumbnail.
Thank you. you.
Citizens of Spartanburg. This is Mrs. Amy W. Cox. She's the city clerk for Spartanburg. Make sure next time the election comes up, you vote for Amy. She's wonderful.
I'm the Spartanburg County Clerk, of course, so not the city court. That's a different person. So, but close
Still.
enough.
They're not as good.
They're not elected. They're appointed.
Right.
So she won't care.
Well, I'd love to sit here and talk some more, but like I said, my legs are
Well, it's been a pleasure
about to
talking to
go.
y'all. I'm hoping that everything in your FOIA request will get answered very quickly. Hopefully I'll get it to him by the end of the day. We've got an inter-office mail that comes by twice a day. So, but like I said,
But
you're welcome to take
It has been a pleasure
Very
talking
nice.
with you.
Very nice to see you. Very nice
Yes,
to see you
ma'am.
as well, sir.
You too.
Now we're gonna go see the other brand new building Spartanburg has.
The police department. Yeah.
Don't call.
Don't call them.
Don't call them.
Are the phones not working?
I don't know.
No, or he's saying, don't give them a heads up, we're headed over.
I won't give them a heads up.
Yeah.
Just be
I'm going to do 40. I got 41 records requests for them.
Okay.
Think they'll be a little upset with me?
No, I mean,
That's good.
yeah, I mean,
41.
most people in Spartanburg County, including the city, are open to this sort of thing. They are.
Other than their K9 cop. Other than that,
Yeah,
the city police, I'm okay with them. It's just as
No, what he's referring to is I had a run-in with this particular officer, and everything he was saying was law came out of his mouth was wrong.
Yeah,
Everything out of his mouth was wrong.
yeah.
And then I said, I want your supervisor. He said, well, I am my supervisor.
And that may be.
He says, I'm the,
They
he
don't
said,
have a lot of people right now.
I am my supervisor. I'm the top dog of my dog, is what he said to me.
Yeah.
And then-
But I've had a conversation with him since,
Yeah.
and he told me, yes, you were right, I was wrong, and, you know.
Usually they're very, so they think they know that you're not allowed to film everything, and then they go learn that what the law says about.
Well, see, what it
filming.
was is I was at the health department
Mhm.
with another gentleman,
Yeah.
and of course they lost their mind, called the cops, and he's the one that showed up, and everything out of his mouth was absolutely wrong.
We probably need to teach this at the academy so that.
They do. So it's,
People-
And
Yeah, it was introduced as
he's
new
sitting there
criteria
saying
in
he's sitting there
2020.
saying that we're violating HIPAA.
Well, I
He
mean,
don't
there
have
are
a clue.
situations where you could record and violate HIPAA, but I don't know what you were doing there at that particular time.
Well, according to the Supreme Court, a
We
citizen can't violate
we
HIPAA.
can't violate HIPAA.
Well, if you're trying to get it, so the information that you got would violate HIPAA. If you're recording while they're doing something that would have to have HIPAA information in there, would that not violate the
No.
HIPAA
No.
process?
So it specifically says that the onus is on the medical provider or its member to protect the information.
Okay.
So if we obtain the information from a
Then they
public,
did something.
The only
that's
way
because they fail to protect
the
it.
only way you can violate HIPAA is if you've been trained in it.
Okay. Gotcha. No, I mean, what I'm saying is, there may be something that you recorded that has HIPAA information on it. So.
I mean, like if a doctor was walking with a folder, right, and he dropped it, and all the papers went out, and I went like that and filmed it, I'm not violating HIPAA.
Yeah. But I know you would never.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, you know, as an
It
example.
was his fault, not yours. Yeah, I gotcha.
But they don't know. They think when they hear HIPAA that it pertains to members of the public as well as them, and it doesn't.
But if you was to look at my channel or whatever, I'd be very surprised if you found any personal information on there.
Yeah. Well, that's
Because
good.
we go through it, and if it's there, we take it out.
Good. Well, I mean, that makes me feel better about you all filming through public offices, because it's not 100% that everything we do protects everything we need to protect all the time, 100% of the time. And
Okay, why doesn't, if you're building new buildings, and you're supposed to be getting a new city hall too, right?
yes, sir.
Pretty soon?
It's technically the city county admin building, but yes, that's true.
Oh, so y'all be together then?
It will be together in the courthouse as well. So the city municipal court's coming into the courthouse, and then the county city admin building is gonna be consolidated.
Where's that gonna be, you know?
It's gonna be where City Hall currently is located.
Where the fire department is.
Yes,
Okay.
so we're gonna have to vacate that.
So they're gonna
building,
tear that
demolish-
one down and build a new one. What are they gonna do with everybody over there?
Well, a lot of the police department is moving into that new police department building. The fire department has a new building, so you know where the police department new building is?
Mhm.
If you go down that street that's next to the Mission, there's a fire department
Right.
new building that's being, remodeled, I guess,
Mm.
for the fire department.
Okay.
Well, I was just wondering where all them people were gonna be, you know, when they tear the building down. Where are they gonna be?
Well, everybody that works for the court will come here to this new building, and then the police officers are going to their new police officer building, and then the fire department will be going to the new fire department building.
So all that will happen before they tear it down.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Mm.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
So they're trying to consolidate to say, cause right now, every building that the government has a space on, you don't collect taxes on. And it's inefficient for you, cause you're supporting the
Well, see,
building.
what I was getting at, they build all these new government buildings. Build them different. Build it to where when you, I mean, the seats are here for the public. And if you're discussing, and I'm here giving you all my information, well, this person can hear it. What's the difference?
Well,
What if they have a photographic memory and all that stuff?
normally what you bring us is on a piece of paper. Normally, we don't have this long conversation about,
Well, I'm just talking about, say, the DMV or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
DMV, yeah, but you
They
know,
need
Or
to
the
set.
utility department.
They need to set these buildings up
Mhm.
to where it protects us.
Yeah,
See, that's another thing we try to point out. Why are you doing this?
well, our new building has much larger lobby space, so the chairs will be further away from the windows. But I'm also hoping that it'll be more efficient in serving the public. Right now, you can see, it's hard for us to serve more than one person at a time. They have to go to this window over here. We can't, like, we've got 3 windows, but we really can't use them because they're so close together.
Right.
So in the new space, it's further apart, there's more workspace, so we can serve more than one person and be more efficient. But here, we don't discuss personal information. Normally, it's on a piece of paper, like you would hand me
Right.
something and go, I want to file.
But I'm talking about in general. You know,
Yeah.
health department, DMV,
Yeah. I agree.
wherever. They
agree.
need to set it up to where it protects us.
Mhm.
Because
They can do like the utility company. They can create a form just because of me.
I mean, you know what I'm
They
getting
did.
We're
at.
making a difference.
They created a form because of
See,
me.
we're trying to get things changed to
Someone
protect
gives you guys
us.
a receipt for your dollar, sir, in case they, so the city, the county may decide to refund you that. I want you to have proof that you paid it. It does have your email address on it instead of your name, but that's proof that you paid that dollar. So, but, yeah, I agree, we need to protect the public. And the new building is designed so that the public has a separate flow from the inmates, and the judges have a separate.
Why
flow from
does the
inmates.
government, I mean, want our information so bad all the time? I mean, like I say, by law, we can do this anonymously.
The FOIA request?
Right.
Yeah, I don't care about this, but if you get arrested, the government has to know who you are, so that
I
they're not
agree.
putting that on someone else's record.
But the first thing out of a police officer's mouth, give me your ID.
It's not giving me your ID. It's, you got ID?
Oh, yeah.
You got
ID?
Okay. So it's important for police officers to know who they're dealing with, because there's a lot of violent people out there who hate police officers right now. And that is a danger to them, and you see that. You see that. We've seen officers shot in the head just because they're sitting in their car. And that is,
But don't you think it's wrong to just feel like everybody's out to get you because of one bad person? That's like if someone
No.
comes in here and they're like hostile at you because they had a bad interaction with another clerk. That wouldn't be
Hey,
fair to
You
you.
guys thought that you were gonna have a bad interaction because of the other clerk? You did
Well, I
not.
didn't think I was gonna have a bad interaction.
No, we go into everyone fresh.
eyes.
I didn't think it was gonna be my best interaction. I'll put it that way. But it was.
That's a good point.
Yes.
That's a good
But
point.
that's what we run into. Like every officer that we run into, they always say, "Well, in this day and age, I get what you're saying. It's officer
They
safety."
don't know that you are not that one bad person.
But by me
As
giving
soon
you
as
my
they
name
cross
doesn't
you-
help you.
Well, yes, it does, because there are,
So you can run me for warrants.
yeah,
But
Yeah.
how many people in this country commit crimes right now that don't have criminal records? Mass shooters that don't have criminal
I
records.
totally agree.
So by
One
me
that
giving you
does
an
have
ID,
a-
Okay, so you would believe
Well, I call when I leave here.
in what Trump said, that if he's president, he's going to enact stop an ID. You agree with that?
Not having any ID?
no, stop
Stop
an ID
an ID.
for all 50 states.
So explain to me what that policy
That
was.
That means if I'm walking down the road and a cop just comes up to me and says, "Give me your
What are you
ID,"
guys still doing?
I have to give him my ID.
Well, so the
She
Supreme
said,
Court
lady
decided
downstairs
that's
told me
not
something,
legal.
comments.
There's gotta
I
be
guess this is it.
reasonable suspicion of some criminal activity.
In South Carolina?
Yes,
in
some
the
paint
whole federal
thinners.
government.
Well, there's not even an ID statute in South Carolina to where they can, if a cop asks me to ID without breaking the law, I don't have to show him my ID.
Well, if they've been called to a location for a situation, then yes, they can ID
No.
you. Yes, they can. Okay, so you can
No.
not, you can say no, but yes, they can. If they're called to a situation, they have a duty
This, I guess I'm
to
supposed to be
protect
jumping off here to
and
court or
serve.
whatever.
And
This-
part of that is knowing who they're
Yes.
interacting with.
Isn't it Click v. Ohio?
Yeah, let's
There's
hear
a
it.
lot of case law
I
out
think it's
there.
Click v. Ohio,
So
where the
it's
Supreme Court ruled that
court date.
even if they were called to the scene absent to you committing a crime, you're not required to ID.
Right.
So
So
they're
they got
trying to
served.
assess the situation, and
Yeah.
they're not allowed to say, hey, who are you?
Yeah,
What's popping out?
unless you're in the commission of committing the crime, committed the crime.
They
or
gotta
found
have-
to-
they gotta have RAS.
Yes, you-
Oh, okay.
No, ID has
There's
to
gotta
I thought
be a
maybe I'll put a
situation where
break in
they're
here or
called
something,
out
so.
and they've got a reason to look, but so in New York.
Do I have a court date? Can you see
Giuliani,
if I got a
right,
court
remember
date?
Giuliani was doing that, stop everybody for ID?
Mm-hmm.
That was a problem, and the federal government said, we don't do that, right? So that's been nipped
Well,
in the
Trump
bud.
says he's going to change it to that.
Well, Trump
I
can't do it by
I
himself.
heard it in one of his speeches in one of his rallies not too long ago.
Uh-huh. Well, Trump can't do it by himself.
I know.
If the government, the House and the Senate sign a bill that say that, and he signs it into law.
Yeah,
then
we
I'm
know how it
sure
works.
Someone like yourself will fight it all the way. to the
I think it was I think it was at his rally in was it Maine? I think it was in
I didn't
Maine.
hear it, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, no, you're not allowed to just stop people for no reason.
it was either Maine or Mass, one of them two.
Yeah. You're right, you're not allowed to just stop them for no reason, but they've been called out to a situation.
Yeah, I'm still
And-
not IDing.
I mean,
If I haven't broken the law, you ain't getting no ID. Matter of fact, if you haven't told me I'm under arrest, you're not getting no ID.
interesting, okay. I
That's-
think that's a bad policy, because what do you hide? You know,
I mean,
A bad policy for who?
Officers don't like to identify themselves,
they've
so
got their name right there.
not every agency has their name on their uniform.
What if somebody's blind?
What if someone's
What if
blind?
somebody's blind and they can't see their name and they say, "Give me your name and badge number"?
9 times out of 10, they say it's right
I've never
here.
seen an officer deny giving their information.
Oh yeah. You should definitely watch our channel. Hey, I mean, it's like 7 times out of 10.
The officers don't want to give
Yes.
their information, and they don't have information
Okay,
on their
appreciate it.
person.
Thank you.
Sometimes. I won't say all the time, but sometimes.
Yeah, but see, most law enforcement agencies, it's in their policy. If a citizen asks you for your name, you're supposed to verbally give it to them.
Okay, so they're breaking their policy. I mean,
Yeah,
I
but-
think it's a good idea.
But policy is not law, so
It can affect whether you keep your job or not.
I agree,
With
but it's
being
not
arrested
law.
for it, it's a totally different situation, but, you know.
I mean, I don't say that an officer does not have a right to ask me for my name or my ID. You have every right to ask,
Yeah.
but you're not gonna, like I said, you're not gonna get it unless you're saying I'm arrested. Even if you detain me, I'm still not
Can
gonna
I
give
ask
it to
you a
you.
question?
Uh-huh.
Y'all have been asking me all kinds of questions.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why do you not want people to know your name?
I don't want to be put in their system.
I mean,
I mean, I have 4th Amendment rights,
Yeah,
well.
and I haven't committed a crime.
I have the right not to.
For somebody to say, hey man, what's your name?
And a lot of times I'll tell you my first name. But they want your
Still
first.
haven't gotten
They want your first name, your last name, and your address.
And your date of birth, so they can run you.
Right.
warrants on you.
Right.
And they
And
have
that's-
the duty to
and that-
serve warrants.
And that's not gonna happen. I don't have any warrants. We'll
Okay,
make
you
that
have
clear.
warrants that you're hiding
We
from?
don't. I don't have any. Warrants.
It's like I say, it's all about our rights. We have the right not to, so we're going to do that.
You have the right not to what?
ID, absent breaking the law.
Okay, I mean, I'm not gonna argue that with you, but I feel like that's a bad policy because that's an aggressive move towards an officer who's trying to come to a situation and kind of settle things down.
Like I said, if the officer comes up and the officer is respectful, right?
Yeah.
Or he's not been above, I'll say, hey, my name is Travis. And
Right.
then we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Now, as the conversation progresses, he goes, oh, Travis, what's your last name? Oh, okay, well, Travis, where you from? You from the upstate? You from the lower state?
Yeah.
Oh, so, okay, why don't you just ask me for my ID? That's what you're doing. You're gaining information to get this, so why don't you just ask me? But, I mean, I'm not going to give it to you. It's just that simple.
Okay, I'm just saying there's.
But my name is Travis, if you didn't catch it.
Okay. no,
And I'm Skip.
Skip, nice to meet you both. I just feel like it's a bad policy to be antagonistic, I guess, to officers.
That's not
when
being
you
antagonistic.
kinda
Why?
tamp
How
down
come?
the issue.
Yeah, why do people
How
say
how
antagonistic?
how come people?
Just because they're there to do a job. They're
How
there to harass you,
come
they're there to do a
people
job.
exercising their rights, flexing their rights,
Yeah.
is
I just feel like
combative?
there's a really good way to do it, and being combative with an officer is not that.
How is that
It's
being
not-
combative?
Okay, so in the grand scheme of where do officers live, you got the federal government, the Congress, White House, all these big things. Then here in the States, you've got the governor, you've got the state house people, legislators who actually write the law. Then you've got the local officials, the councilmen and the mayor and the sheriff. And then you've got the officers who are hired to do an everyday job, and they don't get paid a lot. And that's the person that you have decided to start up with. Instead of the governor or the legislature or the federal government.
No,
you wanna
we do that
start with
too.
the little guy.
Well,
who-
I start with the person who enforces the law.
I know, but you need to.
And
pick
that's
a
the
law
same
and
thing
have
that,
it change.
that's what they always tell us. They say, well, I didn't make the law, I'm just enforcing the law.
That's right.
So I'm making sure you enforce the law in the way that you're supposed to.
But you guys get mad at the officers who enforce the law as it's written.
No, like I said, I didn't have a
With
problem
the
with,
grass
I didn't have a problem with him enforcing the law. My problem
You
was
just didn't
that
like his tone.
he threatened me within 17 seconds of his
16.
16 seconds of his initial
And it wasn't you, it was
interaction.
me.
Yeah. Like I said, respect goes both ways. You can't expect me to be respectful of you if you're not respectful of me. And it's your job to serve and protect. And if I haven't put anyone's life, in danger, I'm not threatening anyone. I'm walking down the side of the road. It'd be totally different if I was walking down the street with a machete in my hand, you know what I mean? So the fact that you jump out of the car, hey, you get over here, you want
And
to
in
take a trip
fact-
down to California Avenue?
In fact, like I said, we were having a conversation with him, and I don't know if I tricked him or what, but he admitted that he was doing a retaliatory ticket. Okay? So then we walked away, and then he come to bring us our ticket, and then all of a sudden it turned into a warning.
I mean, that was nice of him to not write you a ticket.
Well,
when
of course
could
he
have.
knew.
But he could have written you a ticket and been totally legit. And it
I would have
been
rather the
right.
ticket.
You would have rather had the ticket.
Yes, that way I can go to court and argue.
But you admitted you broke the law,
Yeah, I'm still going to argue.
and that's the. So violation of the law is like because you didn't even have an interaction with the officer before you broke the law.
No.
No.
We have been walking for maybe 45 minutes or an hour,
Yeah.
and we come around this curve and we can't see because of the grass, and we cross over to one side of the road. He continues on that side of the road because he has bad legs. I cross back over to the right side of the road once I've gotten past the grass, and he still threatens me with the ticket in
It
jail.
sounds like you crossed traffic twice, and that's
I crossed
not
the road
legal
twice.
either.
I haven't seen. We don't have a jaywalking statute in South
Yeah,
Carolina.
you're-
There's
you're
pedestrian
supposed
in
to be
the.
walking at the corners, right? At the
Mhm.
corner of the streets.
But
and
if
you
I'm
cross
more
the
than
line.
100 feet away from the intersection, then I have to be able to cross the road. As long as I'm crossing parallel from side to side, correct?
I don't know that statute, but yeah, and it's probably different if you're crossing certain roads.
Yes.
This was just a little old two-lane
Yeah, the way the statute
road.
reads, if it's a two-lane road, you're supposed to cross from side to side in a parallel fashion, which is what I was doing. But I crossed the road to get, out of the grass, and then once the grass was back low again, I crossed back to the right side of the road. But by that time, he saw me crossing over the road, so he decided he was going to give me a warning as well. But I'm like, it's, whatever. I didn't care about the ticket. It's just the way you came off. Like, you want me to be, okay, well, here's my ID. I did broke. No, you should. Hey man, I know it's trivial, but we've got these laws in place for safety. You were walking on the wrong side of the road. You did in fact break the law.
His tone.
It wasn't his tone. It was just he threatened me with arrest within 17
He
seconds.
said he could, right? Because you broke the law.
No, he said you're gonna give me your ID, or we're gonna take a trip down to California Avenue.
Well, he can't write you a ticket unless he knows who you are.
I asked him what law I broke first, because first I'll state this: I didn't know that it was against the law to walk on that side of the road.
But now you do.
I do.
Yeah.
And I asked him which law did I break, and he didn't want to articulate which law did I broke. He
Okay.
just wants to ticket me or take me to jail for quote unquote law. So I was like, well, can you tell me which law? He never wanted to tell me the law until I gave him my ID, which that pissed me off.
There's just too many census laws to get money from us. I'm serious.
I agree that we've got too many laws and we need to get rid of some of them. But, when you first started talking to me, officers needed to be trained more.
Yeah.
And now they're trained too much.
No,
knowing
I ain't saying
you were
that.
walking on the wrong side of the road and he didn't let you get away with it. Even though he wrote you a warrant instead of a ticket. But he can't write a
I
ticket
agree with
without
all
ID.
that. But he didn't have to just jump on me and grab me and say,
Wait, he grabbed you?
yeah.
Within 16 seconds of his initial interaction.
So did you fit the description of something that something else he was doing?
No.
No.
You sure?
Yeah, that's
I'm positive.
Somebody didn't call and go, hey, there's two suspicious looking guys hanging out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Somebody probably called when we were filming that area.
Yeah.
Okay.
So somebody probably did call and say a guy in maybe pretty well in a yellow shirt with a Second Amendment hat and a guy with a black hat on a black shirt hanging around my neighborhood. Maybe.
Okay. Is it against the law to walk anywhere in the United States I want to?
But is it
If you're on the wrong
against
side of the
law that
road.
officers come check you out? If you're walking in a neighborhood?
Well, he
and
could have
you
checked
think-
me out.
But we weren't in a neighborhood.
Check me
Just
out.
to
I'm just
clarify.
saying,
Check me out. Don't jump out of your cruiser and grab me and say, give me your ID or we'll go, or you're going to jail. That's just wrong, man.
I have to side with my officers. I work.
Of course you do.
I'm sorry that you had that situation.
I mean, if he'd have been respectful and got out and said, hey man, here's what's going on. I knew I was supposed to be on the other side.
Well, it could
But-
have been that he was checking you out for some other reason. Had someone
Exactly.
called and said, hey, there's two guys filming and
All he wanted to do was run me. That's what he wanted to do.
to figure out, have you ever been arrested for burglary?
Right.
Because that,
But see, he lucked up.
But okay, so
He
when I
lucked
pulled-
up because I knew I was on the wrong side of the road. But I did that for my safety. If you watch me walk,
yeah,
that would be dangerous for me.
I'm totally not arguing.
But the
that.
thing is, he saw an opportunity to ID us. Hey, he won that one. I mean, but if I had not broken the law, he would not have got my ID. Period.
Okay,
Now you sound like me.
you understand? Is that what you said?
No, I say he sounds like me now.
Oh, well, just like I'm transparent in my job, I'm transparent in my life. If an officer wants my ID, I'm gonna say, hey, sure, what's going on?
Well, that's you.
And he would normally,
What's your RAS? I need your reasonable articulable suspicion to get my ID. What is it? What
See,
crime
that's
do
the
you
problem.
suspect me of committing? I haven't committed.
In our opinion, that's a problem with the average person. One thing is they don't know their rights, and all these years have gone by that government officials are used to that. And then when they meet somebody that knows their rights, they hate it.
You're a problem.
sorry that you guys feel that way. I mean, I wish you would get along with police officers, because it makes.
We do get along with police
It's
officers.
just certain ones.
The ones that you don't like. I mean, hey, all right.
The ones I don't like are the ones that violate. If you violate, then we're gonna litigate.
Oh, I love litigation. I do.
I just like starting.
And that's
No.
we want the interaction like we had with you today.
This
With
has been
everybody
great.
we come in contact with. But that's
See,
just not what you get.
This is what we want, is a conversation.
Just sit and talk.
We just want a conversation, you know, to try to bridge the gap between the people and government.
I mean, it's just simple. If you have the basic understanding that you're in public and someone has a right to film you in public, there's nothing to argue and fight about.
No, but we have had issues with people casing joints, and, you know, there was the issue with terrorists.
But then now you're taking my constitutionally protected activity and criminalizing it now, and that's not right either.
Well, so you said we're not supposed to watch out for people who are casing joints?
You can watch. I mean,
Just not you.
I don't think that 90%, 99% of the criminals that are going to case a place are going to walk around with a camera in the daytime on a public sidewalk.
Yeah, you have no idea.
I mean, I said most. I mean, there are some
We
criminals
don't
that are.
catch the smart ones.
Yeah.
So we gotta get the ones that can.
That
Okay?
is true.
So if you look like you might be casing a joint, an officer might wanna know what you're doing.
I mean, I'm all for you asking questions.
Are you
I'll answer.
feeling-
I'll answer as many questions as I feel like.
Well, you filming a location that could be turned into a large bomb, is that fair to say about the location you were filming?
Maybe.
Come on.
Yeah, but
Why would you think they wouldn't?
is it against the law?
It's not against the law, but if.
Then why even come out? It's not against the law.
Because people have blown places up after they've filmed it, and if we can catch you before you do that, that's better for everyone.
Sweetheart, I
Don't call
can,
me sweetheart.
oh,
That's
I'm
so
sorry. It's just,
condescending.
I'm not trying to be like
Yeah,
that.
it's-
I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be, I'm a Southern guy. I mean,
I'm a Southern girl, and I still don't like that.
okay, I apologize.
Thank you.
I didn't mean to offend you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Okay,
I wasn't trying to offend you.
okay.
I can see more of what my camera got on Google.
But that's not the point.
What's
The point is, people have blown places like that up and made a huge disaster, and officers.
I agree, but my
not
point
checking it
is,
out.
you're saying I'm filming this location, and I could be a terrorist, whatever.
Yeah.
Terrorists, all they got to do is go to Google, and they'll see more than this camera sees.
I get called a terrorist every day because I'm a Muslim.
Who calls you a terrorist because you're Muslim?
I had officers called me a terrorist before because I had on my kufi. You remember that?
Yeah. Well, I've got to go, man.
You were
I'm
wearing
dying.
something that looked like what the terrorists on TV wear.
I was
And
wearing my religious
filming-
headwear.
Just saying that you're saying they said you were a terrorist,
Mhm.
right? Because you were wearing something that looked like
Mhm.
what they see on TV, and you were filming something that could be turned into a large bomb.
Oh, he's not talking about that situation.
That's a different situation.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, not that
Yeah,
you
a
should be called
kufi.
a terrorist,
A
but if
kufi
you
is
are-
the little thing that Muslims wear.
I don't know what they look
It
like.
literally fits on your head like this.
It kind of looks like a yarmulke, but a little bit bigger.
Like it fits on your head like this. But yeah.
No, so you're saying what it is, but I truly don't know what you're talking about.
It kind of looks like a doily on
Okay.
somebody's head.
Okay.
But anyway,
I'm just saying, if you're doing something that could look as if it's terrorist activity, and you're dressed in a manner that could be interpreted as someone who might do something like that, that's something officers have been trained to check out, right? I mean, you're telling me that you think it's wrong for an officer to check out someone filming something that could be turned into a large
no, he can check it out. But if I'm not breaking
I'm
the
just
law,
not
don't
required
ask me
to
for
answer
my
the
ID.
questions.
Okay.
Well, I just feel like that's
I love you, even though we disagree.
Alright. Don't call me sweetheart.
I
Club that out of that
now I
video.
know
Yeah,
there's gonna have to be a lot clocked out because
yeah. Well,
2 hours and 40 minutes.
2 o'clock p.m.
yeah.
See, then I get then I get.
Police officers.
We never press charges, but that's
Huh?
okay. You come
You
here
should
and
get
get
along with police officers.
I do.
Like, take the charges off.
Good police officers. That's all I want. Listen, I want good policing, not bad policing. That's it.
Okay.
We've got good police officers here.
And honey, you
Yeah,
have good
according
ones
to the-
and you have some bad ones.
I've never seen one that I would say is a bad one.
Okay.
Okay.
Alright,
All right.
have a good time editing that long video.
I don't have to edit mine.
Thanks to
Okay,
you.
good.
But
I-
hey,
I
this
enjoy
is-
this.
I-
do this all the time.
I have enjoyed this. I mean, even if people we don't agree, that's what's wonderful about this country.
Right,
But people are not willing to even have a conversation anymore.
yeah.
Yeah, we agree about certain things. We disagree about certain things. That's great. That's fine.
Yeah.
That don't mean I can't like you, you know. But nowadays it seems like, well, if you don't believe what I believe,
We're enemies.
yeah,
Yeah,
you know.
I know.
And they try to pit black against white, whatever.
I'm not black for the last time, Bob.
But anyway,
What are you?
I'm African.
Okay. Were you born
he
in
was born in
Africa?
freaking Greenwood. He ain't no freaking African. Anyway,
I normally say,
Do you really believe that?
what?
That you want to be called African?
No.
Okay.
no, he's joking.
I normally tell people I'm white.
Okay.
Listen, when we're behind the camera most of the time,
Yeah.
and like this video right here, like I said, I'm an old Southern guy or whatever. He can articulate a lot better than me.
Okay.
They think he's white and I'm black.
Interesting.
They say it all the time, don't they?
I normally
Yeah.
roll with it.
They do. If they're not seeing us, they think he's white and I'm black.
Well,
I mean, yeah, y'all are on the wrong side of the camera.
there's even some videos where you'll see us step into the frame and they'll still think that he's me talking or vice versa. So
It's funny.
it's whatever.
But yeah, Amy,
Are you a Democrat?
I,
Are you a Libertarian?
No,
You're a Republican?
no.
You're not anything.
There you go.
So I would say that you're a Libertarian because you don't associate with either side. But
I guess I'll say.
and see, another label they put on us
yeah.
is sovereign citizen.
Yes.
I hate that.
Please tell me that you're not.
No, but they put that on
We
us.
just believe in
We
our
believe
constitutional rights.
in the law,
Yeah.
you know?
But do you believe you can trademark your name and charge people for
No.
putting it on a piece of paper?
No.
Okay.
Do what now?
So
I
sovereign
missed that.
citizens believe that they can trademark their name.
Oh no! I mean, the people that are out there that are doing this sovereign citizen stuff.
I do believe we need to start looking at whether it is a mental illness in some form.
The only time I've ever gotten, like, my conversation could lead to you thinking I was a sovereign citizen is like if I deal with police officers and they really aggravate me, I'll say call the sheriffs. And then that's like, oh no, he's a sovereign citizen. He doesn't believe in the police. He only believes in the sheriff. But, you know.
Oh, you did say that. Is that something they believe?
Yeah, so sovereign citizens will not interact with the police at all. It's always going to be just the sheriffs.
That's interesting. I had no idea that they did that.
Yeah,
I didn't either.
yeah.
I didn't think they
No wonder they're
believed
calling you
in
sovereign.
the law anyway.
Yeah, so like
That the law didn't apply to
believe in
them.
The law, but it doesn't apply to them. But they believe that the only person that can enforce any type of law outside of sovereign citizenship is the sheriff.
Well, you
But-
can't be sovereign and a citizen at the same time. It's an oxymoron.
Well, what they're saying is they are,
Have you ever looked up citizen?
so
You know what the definition of citizen is?
I think you're going to tell me.
No, look it up right quick.
No. This-
Why not?
We'll get the computer to start back up.
Well, you got your phone?
No,
Look up
no.
citizen. Look up the definition of citizen. You ever done it? You ever done it? Look it up.
So what is it?
Hey, you're fixing to find out. I don't want to get them inmates.
A legally recognized subject or national of a state.
See? You're a subject. She didn't hear you.
She was talking. I'll tell her in a second. Oh Lord, my stomach's chewing on my
I'm sorry,
back.
No problem.
Oh, it says a subject that is a national. Hold on, that ain't what I said. I can't remember. My stomach's growling. A legally recognized subject or national of a state or commonwealth.
Right, so they believe that they are sovereign in themselves and they're a citizen of that.
No, I don't even like that definition of a citizen. I don't want to be a subject of the state. I got no contract with the state.
Oh, you do sound like a sovereign.
No. I believe in law and order. But I'm just saying, that just don't sound very good.
Well,
I'm okay with you giving him a
turn you
evaluation.
around and say that is your
Yeah, I know.
contract.
Mm-hmm.
And under that, we've created lots of
Thank
laws.
you.
Too many.
This is what I was given.
I don't disagree with that.
That's the case.
We just want things to level out. Get back to the way it used to be before 9/11. Because 9/11 changed everything for the worst.
I agree, we did a lot of things we shouldn't have done after 9/11. However,
The original opinion.
it was done with best intentions and then usually we're going to hell.
But we need to get things back to the way they were.
Thanks a lot.
But unfortunately, I don't think it'll
All
happen.
the stuff before 9/11 that wasn't too great.
Honey, there's been bad, sorry, different thing,
You
but
call me honey, he caught himself.
I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I think you
you're
know
not.
that.
I know, but it is a little condescending when you're telling me how I should believe. and
No, I'm not
how
telling you
I
how I
should.
believe. I'm telling you how
I'm
you
not-
believe.
I can take it.
I'm not telling you how you should believe. I'm telling you the way I believe.
Okay. I'm just gonna say, you do sound a little like our sovereigns. We get a lot of sovereigns here.
You do?
And they believe that,
I mean, they actually say I'm a sovereign citizen?
yeah.
They come in with their binder.
Spanish?
They come in with all kinds of stuff,
Joe
and a
Baldwin,
lot of it
Joe
has
Baldwin,
blood
he's a lawyer.
thumbprints on it.
Yeah. So
What?
they have a binder and it has like
That's
all the
the case
paperwork
number.
saying
That
that they
sound like
don't
a
have
freaking-
contracts with the state and they're free to travel without a
Sounds like
license.
a cult or something.
But
There's something
with
on the
that piece
internet that
number,
they're
you should be
really
able to find
believing,
it, right?
and to me, I'm worried that it is a mental illness because no matter how you refute what they're saying, it.
Yeah, I've seen their videos.
Yeah.
It's insane to me.
They believe that Rome, at least the one that I had a real long, in-depth conversation, much like this, believe that Rome or the Pope created like a trust or something, and that the government has stolen it from them, and that if you tell someone your name, which you don't like doing,
It's downstairs at
that you give them power over you.
105.
thank you so much.
So,
Okay, I don't need
you
this.
do kind of act
Thanks
like
a
a
lot.
sovereign.
Or they think there's a trust fund.
No, there's a
associated with their
difference
social-
between
Yeah,
that.
that's the thing from the Pope, that the Pope has given them a trust account. That
They believe the law doesn't apply to them. I have rights, and that's what I stand up
Listen, I'm
for.
not saying you're a sovereign, but I am saying not.
She
giving-
sees similarities.
Yes, in the way you interact with the police department, it might make red flags
But I
because,
don't interact with all police that way. That's what I want you to understand. It's the one, like I said, it's all about how you come at me. Is how what you give is what you get.
I mean, I guess, but I would hate to see
We
you in
have-
jail
we've
for
had-
something stupid.
Oh yeah, if I haven't brought
This
the law,
right here-
you want to take me to jail? Let's
This
go.
right here, we have with a lot of Spartanburg PD
Fantastic.
at the QT. They'll be over there. We'll roll in. We have this nice long conversations all the time. They joke with us, all this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, I don't mind y'all doing it here. To me, it makes my staff nervous, so I'd much rather be the person that interacts with you so that they don't have to deal with the nervous.
well, ladies, if we ever come back, we're not here to harm.
They can't hear you. This little thing keeps in.
I know.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got a bad.
but I get it. I get
Look
it.
at
I know you're not here to hurt anybody, so.
You guys can stay and talk. I've got to get off my legs. I'm about
You
to
gotta feel
fall.
lit. I gotta get lunch. I've been up since
You gotta train
3:40.
your body to not need it, and then you'll get right past that.
I'm been over that since I got out of the military. It's when it's time to eat, it's time to
Yeah.
eat.
So where'd you serve?
Can't disclose that.
Oh my gosh.
You're definitely a sovereign citizen. It was very nice to meet you, and thank you.
You
for your
too, man.
service.
Have a blessed day.
You too.
And all you ladies and gents, have a blessed day.
And they can't hear you. I'll let them know you said that.
Remember, Jesus loves you.
Yep. they
Sorry
know
for
that.
scaring you with the camera.
Yeah, they do. They get nervous over camera.
No, the red